evening, Questers. Good evening, VR enthusiasts. Oh, I'm getting a lot of feedback I haven't actually muted. That's terrible.
Wasn't
There we
me.
go.
Wasn't
Right.
me this time.
No, it
wasn't me.
It wasn't Mac. It was me. Right. Let's start that again, shall we? Good evening, Questers. Good evening, VR enthusiasts. It doesn't matter if you're using a Quest, whether you're using a Aero, whether you're using a G2. Welcome in to the VR news, the VR blues. My name is Shmoopie. I run PowerOnVR. This guy is the wig salesman himself, the master of the Mac juice, Mac In VR. How are we doing, my dude?
I'm really good. I'm really good. I've been looking forward to this all day. We've got lots and lots of stuff to talk about, and a big wide variety of stuff as well. Because there's a lot happened this week. Well, that's 2 weeks, isn't there?
There is an insane amount that's been going on in the past 2 weeks. But
before we start, what are you drinking?
I am not drinking heavily tonight, and the reason being is that I did a 20-hour shift yesterday, and I'm exhausted. So we're on the light stuff with a little bit of mango and lime cider.
Sounds nice.
And to keep me awake, a nice big tin of Monster.
Well, I'm supposed to be taking part in the World of Mech's the final closed server beta tonight. So, would you believe?
Ooh, Budweiser Zero. Interesting.
And then I decided, fuck that.
Back on the Mac juice.
I play drunk anyway, so fuck it. What's going to be the difference?
Yep.
I bought these me and the wife did dry January, and we bought these in January, so that's how nice that stuff is. It's like sex without an orgasm.
Sex without an orgasm can be fun.
It can be fun, but it's not as much fun as with an orgasm.
This is true.
Right, so we are supposed to be talking about VR. So I've got a list. You've got a list. Strangely, our lists were quite similar.
They are. Like, you put down your list for today, and I was just like, yeah, he's pretty much got everything that I already wanted to cover.
Yeah. So what would you first like to talk about then?
What would I first like to talk about? Let's sort of, we'll try and do a nice sort of curve throughout the evening, shall we? So we'll go sort of big, small, big, small, big, small. We'll sort of work our way through what it is that we have been playing, what it is we've been looking at, and what has intrigued us.
Okay.
So let me look at the list quickly.
Well, I'll ask you. What have you been playing this week?
What have I been playing this week? I have been playing an extraordinary amount of Blatant Sorcery.
Oh.
Because, mate, like, I haven't had time to jump on and do any online multiplayer stuff, and my schedules haven't really been meeting up with people. So the most I've been playing this week has been Blatant Sorcery, and it's not just been normal Blatant Sorcery, it has been the U11, the Update 11 beta version. And that's really different for me because I'm used to playing with an absolute shit ton of mods. You've frozen because I have put that
over the top of me.
You might have been frozen for a while. There we go. That's fixed. Okay, my apologies, guys. So yeah, there is some heavy differences compared to anything else we've ever experienced with Blatant Sorcery. Not only have they updated several of the mechanics and updated several of the spells, but they've also done a huge overhaul for PC VR to the graphics and the textures. And the big one for this was the dungeons. Like, we've had dungeons for a little while now, where it's a procedurally generated map with sort of self-contained boxes, self-contained parts of the level. but they've updated all of the graphics and they've added tutorial now, and they've made this big island that is your home base now. And they're really trying to push it as this continent, I guess, where everything happens. And they've been adding little things. And I don't know if you saw, Beardo Benjo did a video a week and a half, 2 weeks ago that was the trolliest video, and it speaks to the heart of what me and you have been saying for a while, which is you're doing the action, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's genius.
We always say about the word insane, and what's the other big word that YouTubers generally use?
Oh, awesome. Yeah, awesome, insane, crazy. They just the clickbait shite, in other words.
Yeah. So Beardo went all out. His thumbnail was clickbaity as shit. His wording was all clickbaity, and I was really surprised to see it on his channel. And then he literally had a 5-minute video of him using, and I'm going to preface this, a really cool mechanic, because it is a really cool thing that they've done, and it feels really satisfying to use. But he did a 5-minute video essentially of him holding a door handle and pressing the open button.
Clickbait.
And the thing is there have been a couple of other videos that I've noticed popping up around that subject of using clickbait videos and taking the piss.
Yeah, Steve Knows did
parody.
One. Yeah, Steve Knows did one. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, ignoring that and the actual game itself, everything they've done from creating the Meteor spell by combining 2 fireballs to upgrading how the staves use their imbues now, it feels truly fantastic. Like it feels like this is what should have been happening 6 months ago, a year ago, and we're finally starting to move to a point where we might seriously get a campaign of some description at some point in the next year or two, I think. And
is it still in open? Is it still in like early access?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still in open access, because at the end of the day, it's a combat simulator that they're constantly putting out updates for in order to get the combat perfect.
Right.
And because the modding scene is so huge, they don't have, like, people are happy just to wait around for this.
Oh, right, okay.
Like I don't know if you've ever tried modding Blatant Sorcery or if you have it installed. Oh, that's there's no.
I've never played it, and it's not because I don't want to, because I've got friends who play it and say, "Oh, it's absolutely amazing." I just never got the time around to it. It looks amazing. I nearly got it when the Quest 2 version launched, but then I thought, no, I'd rather have the PC version. I'd rather have the full fat version. If you understand what I'm talking about.
The Nomad version is definitely a Blade and Sorcery Lite.
Right. Okay.
And part of that is because like in Blade and Sorcery, part of the wow factor is obviously the visuals.
Yeah.
And even prior to this update, the visuals were disgustingly beautiful. And now it's like night and day. Like for PC, if you've got a high-end rig, you can have a truly beautiful... Yeah, he's going to try and find it on the picture somewhere. You're going to have a truly beautiful experience.
Oh, cool.
Ignoring the blood, ignoring how satisfying it is to get that perfect sort of slice of the sword in order to decapitate someone or take off a limb, or the perfect knife throw, because it's really difficult. Like, there's nothing helping you with throwing objects. There's no like easy mode for it whatsoever.
Right. You just have to do it.
Learned skill. Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So yeah, no, that's what I've spent a lot of time on. And then obviously me and you spent some time last Thursday playing Onward.
We did. Always good.
Yeah, and I played it I think either the previous night or the night before that as well. Just because I really wanted just to go around and shoot some terrorists. It was fantastic. And what was the special thing about us doing it on your stream on Thursday?
We all had ProTube. We all had ProTube VRs, and we all had Force Tubes.
Yeah.
And Weeble was complaining that it kept knocking his aim off. Weeble, dude, you can't shoot. Just fucking admit it.
Yeah, no, it was an experience playing with people that had gone full in to the onward to the milsim type of mentality. And fair enough, we still weren't playing it as a squad.
We weren't. We should have.
We weren't putting a lot of tactics into it because that comes with time and bonding amongst a team, as you well know, for being an airsofter.
Yeah.
But it felt phenomenal. I was really, really engaged. We had the guys from ProTube actually come in, didn't we?
Did, into the chat. Yeah.
So yeah,
shout out to ProTube.
Yeah, no, brilliant company. If you're considering buying a gun stock for your Quest or for your
PCVR
Index, it was the word I was looking for. They cover most mainstream headsets, I think.
Yeah.
And because of just how modular isn't the word. What word am I looking for?
If you break something, it doesn't cost much to fix it because you can buy each individual component.
Yes, that is a good thing. That wasn't quite what I was going for. It was more that it can be completely set up and changed to exactly how you as a person, so the length of your arms, how you like to hold the weapon, what sort of weapons you like. For instance, Mac was really weirded out by how mine was set up when I went to go and visit him.
Flat! That's just not right!
Because my arms are fucking huge.
They're long. They're long.
They're long, yes. They're, rather than huge, they are long. But also...
Which is really weird, because he's very short, and his knuckles drag across the ground. No, they don't.
But my front cup, unlike, I think, most people, I have my... So that you can see it, I have my front cup so that I can actually move it at any given moment, because I want to be able to move it between being a rifle, being a front... I'm losing words. I'm so tired.
This is how I feel after a bottle of
foregrip. So a rifle, a foregrip, or even going really close so that you can use a P90. And that makes a huge difference to my gameplay. It makes a huge difference to my target acquisition. Yeah. So yeah, if you're looking at buying a gun stock, then ProTube, I cannot recommend them enough. Mac cannot recommend them enough.
I use all their
Mac
stuff.
Even has a affiliate link with them, so if you're planning on doing it, go and use his affiliate link.
Yeah. Right, give a shout out quickly to the chat before I talk about what I've been playing with. We got Surge, Doom Sly, Jay Everything, Tassos from Greece, Rift Traveller. Yeah, so welcome to the chat, guys. Who have you got in yours?
At the moment, the only person that is in mine is Natalie. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, buddy. I apologise, but hello. Thank you for joining us. It is appreciated.
No, Henry. Henry's usually stalking you at some point during the day, isn't he?
He is. I imagine he's quite tired. He's got a lot on at the moment, the poor boy.
Bugger. Right, I have been playing World of Mechs. And wow. So, the first time you played Population 1, the very first time you played the game, what did you think?
I was blown away. My first thought was, this definitely is Fortnite in VR.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I actually give a shit about it.
How did you feel the first time you played Larcenauts?
I didn't care that much, if I'm really honest with you.
Yeah,
I did not give two shits.
I was so boosted for Larcenauts, and it just disappointed. Like from the outset, they patched it. It was worse. They patched it again. But Population 1, from the minute you stepped off that platform and glided down into this city, I thought, oh wow, they've nailed this. So I got invited to the closed server stress test for World of Mechs over the weekend. Very kindly shout out to Nova and Player and all the others, the other devs. and I did the tutorial, and I jumped into a game, and I played for 3 hours, and didn't even realise I was playing for 3 hours. It was just like, it's just so good. It's not a mech simulator, right? And it says like World of Mechs, but it's more like World of Tanks. It's a game where it's like the combat, the missions are short and punchy. You're never more than 20 seconds away from a fight. There's varying sizes of mechs, from these fucking towering 50-meter high crazy mechs to these little bastard scurrying medic mechs which you can't kill because they're so fast and they can heal themselves. So there's a whole range of stuff you can do. Like, you can be a sniper mech, you can be like a brawler mech, you can be like a tank, you can be like an all-rounder. It's just so much fun. So there's like domination, straightforward capture the ABC points and for points. Team deathmatch. There's a one called Assault where you have to spend time in the enemy's area to get points. So it's basically you're going to go in there, you're going to try and spend as much time in there before you die, respawn, and fucking get straight back in again. So it's like bang, 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 bang. Games last about maybe 4 or 5 minutes each time. Fast, punchy, and the way the mechs move is just, it's so clever what they do. They've designed it so you can sit and play, and your HOTAS is actually your controllers. So you have these like floating arms, and you can strafe left, strafe right, turn left, march forward, backwards, all the sort of movements you like. But it's all like boom, 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 like that. It's awesome, and you aim by looking, which is really amazing, because you just like, target acquisition is so fast.
Okay, so bear with me a second then.
Okay.
I've got a couple of questions.
Okay.
First things first. Have you played Iron Rebellion?
No.
Okay, so I've played Iron Rebellion. I've played it on and off for the past 4 months, 5 months.
Okay.
In fact, it might be even be longer than that. I think it might be since November last year. Iron Rebellion is a very similar game to World of Mechs.
Okay. Is it on Quest or is it on PC?
It is on Quest. It's on both.
Oh, okay.
And it's been built from the ground up. So it got released as early access, and then it made it onto the App Lab, and they've been doing incremental updates over time.
Okay.
And it seems to be very similar to what I have seen of World of Mechs, except for they've been adding stuff as they've been going along. So these are two direct competitors from what I can see.
All right. No, I've never played it. I've never played it.
So here's the thing, right? Here's the big question. When you start your mech, do you press any buttons?
No. It's literally.
Then I don't give a shit. Iron Rebellion is straight up 100% better. Having not played World of Mechs, here's the thing with World of Mechs and with Iron Rebellion. Okay, and this is a big one for me. Whenever you start your mech, if you die when you go into a level, anything, the first thing you have to do is reach up to the top of the console and physically press the buttons in order to start the startup sequence of the mech. And it makes you feel like a mech god. No,
World of Mechs is different. World of Mechs is a Call of Duty versus Battlefield. Battlefield is a more like slower, more methodical sort of game, and where Call of Duty, spawn die, and World of Mechs is more like that. It's like bang, bang, bang into the action, die, spawn, straight back into the action, and I really like that. It works so well. I
like the idea of that, but at the same time, if I'm a mech pilot, if I am Hero Yui from Gundam Wing, I want to feel like I'm genuinely driving a mech. So tell me now, does it feel like you imagined driving a mech to feel?
Oh, it's awesome. And the thing is, the different mechs, like the big mechs, like the tanky mechs, they're like proper boom, 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 dum, dum, dum guns. Whereas like the smaller sort of more mobile mechs are like boom, 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 do, 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 boom, boom, boom. And it's like it just works really well. If you're in a big mech, you expect to walk slowly and you expect to have a big gun. Bizarrely,
you have exactly the same in Iron Rebellion. Actually, you do have that. Is that you have larger mechs to smaller mechs, and you can customize them with the weapons that you wish.
Right. So Space Denizen said the startup in Iron Rebellion is cool, and Rift Traveller says, how do those compare to Vox Machina? I didn't play Vox Machina.
I have also not played Vox Machina. I didn't get time when it came out, and honestly, there was way too many. The only reason I was going to play it is to produce content, and unfortunately, I just didn't have the time to do it. It's still a game that I need to go back and have a play with because it's a mech game, and I love Gundam. I love Mobile Suit Gundam. All of the anime I've seen, every single Mobile Suit Gundam anime. And anytime that I get to feel like I'm driving or that I'm in control of Wing Gundam or the XR1 or like one of the Tau mechs is gravy to me.
Yeah. I'm just going to quickly show you something here because this is from about 20 years ago. And I'm just trying to get an image up on the screen. There it is.
Okay, so fun with the clicks. Hey, dude, by the way, and Natalie, I realized after I had said it that it's Fuzilo. Welcome, my dude, Fuzilo.
Fuzilo's there. He's been playing World of Mechs, and he's a sneaky, sneaky bugger. Tell him.
He's a sneaky bugger in every game I play.
He is. He's found, like, in 2 of the maps, he's found a spot where he could shoot from, and you can't shoot back at him. And I was
cheeky little bitch.
I was getting shot, right? And I was like, bugger, I can't. So me and this guy we were playing with, Bluebells, we tried to sort of circle around. And as soon as I got close enough to see his name tag, I was like, I knew it was going to be him. I knew it.
Anyway, yeah, Fun with the Clicks said Vox is quite story-based, whereas World of Mechs is pure action arcade pack goodness.
Yeah, Clicks, me and Clicks actually had a few games together, though the voice comms weren't working at the time, but they are now. I'm just going to quickly show my... so back in when the first Xbox came out, there was a game called Steel Battalion. I don't know if you remember it.
No, not off the top of
Right,
my head.
right, dude. It had this crazy controller that had about 120 buttons on it, and it included a startup sequence for your mech. So you literally flicked toggle switches. Yep. Boom.
Yep, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah,
that's what I want, and that's what Iron Rebellion gave me.
You had twin HOTAS. You had all these buttons. It was absolutely amazing.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. That was going to be my other question. You mentioned that all of your targeting was done via looking around.
Yeah.
I don't think that is the same in Iron Rebellion. From what I remember, the reason why it was more of a simulator rather than an arcade game was that you have to reach down with your controllers and grab onto the mech controls in the cockpit. So on your left, you have your movement HOTAS, and on your right you have your targeting HOTAS,
right? Okay.
Which is also something I don't think World of Mechs had.
Right. So the way it works in World of Mechs is basically you have your controllers and your left thumbstick is your movement. Left thumbstick moves the cockpit, so you can walk forward and look that way. You can see what I mean? Yeah. And you can strafe left and right with your left stick. If I'm getting this completely wrong, it's because basically the thing about World of Mechs is I picked up the controllers and went, oh yeah, and just started playing. And I think that's a sign of a really good game because you're not like thinking, fuck, what does that do? There's only really 2 buttons you need to know, and that's stomp and special, and the rest of it is just intuitive.
Don't get me wrong, I am a big fan of arcade games and the fact that they make it super easy for you to actually jump in the game without having to think about it too much, and you don't have to do much learning in order to get your enjoyment. I am a big fan of that, but at the same time, I really like my super in-depth simulators, and I think if you've got a scale about this big, and you've got arcade here, and you've got super in-depth simulators, Iron Rebellion sits about here.
Oh, right, okay.
And yeah, it's not quite super in-depth because they've made it simple enough that it's easy to play, but they've also made it quirky enough and simulator enough to really, really drive home the simulation, the mech enthusiast side of things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I managed to get you an invite, but you were this is your weekend, but you did that 20-hour shift, so you didn't get a chance to play.
I'm actually really gutted that I didn't get a chance to play over the weekend. I had planned last night to jump on with some people for some Pop 1. That didn't happen. I was planning on doing stuff on Saturday. I was still at work at 8 p.m. and then exhausted when I got home. It's taking away my ability to actually play stuff.
Yeah.
So I may try and play something when I'm done with the podcast tonight, and I will more than likely be playing something during the day tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the YouTube treadmill, isn't it?
It's the algorithm treadmill. Yeah.
When you're not at work,
you're at work.
You're at work doing content, and I've realised this quite. I had a long conversation with the wife about this over the weekend. I need to schedule better because what I was doing was, like, the weekly news comes out on Sunday. So what happened was, because I'm bad at scheduling, I would be writing the script Friday, filming Friday, Saturday, editing, upload for Sunday. So I'd end up working like most of Saturday and part of Sunday, and that wasn't the idea I had when I retired. It was like, I work Monday to Friday, and that is it. So that's just a scheduling thing. We've been podcasting for nearly half an hour. We haven't even got past what games we were playing. RFVR. Did we talk about that in the last podcast?
We did briefly, yes.
Yeah, we did briefly. Right. So me and Serge put a bit more time in. We did a live stream. We had some technical issues with the live stream before the podcast, and then we live streamed again, and it actually worked really well. Great game. This is going to be big. It's going to be, bearing in mind it's before early access, and I've already put about 20 to 30 hours into it. It's just
okay.
Yeah, and Serge has put more. It says it's a demo, but it's actually the map. You're given access to 50 kilometers by 50 kilometers.
Wow.
So, yeah, and there's a lot of stuff in there. Like during the live stream, we stumbled across this tower. So we killed all the bods around the tower and like climbed up, jumped in, collapsed the floor, landed. Like what happened was, I jumped down. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't mean to jump down. So Serge was like, oh don't worry, I'll come. Serge jumped down and he went further than me. Bearing in mind the level cap for players at the moment is 20. Landed right in front of a level 47 skeleton demon thing, right? So he was like, help! So I jumped in to help him. He portaled out, back to safety, and I was running around this cavern getting chased by these fucking level 47 bloody skeletons. And I was like, Serge, where are you? He's like, oh, I portaled out. It was too much for me. And because you get these portal books where you can just pull the portal book out and you can portal back to your safe area. And of course I was panicking. There was stuff going everywhere. There was carrots flying. There were swords. There were bows getting chucked off me back. Eventually I got my portal out. Managed to get away. And Serge was there like, oh, you got out then? I was like, yeah, no thanks to you, you bastard. Really good. It's going to be awesome. Need to keep an eye on that one. RFVR.
Yeah, I need to actually find some time to really dig into that one.
Yeah, it's
but
good.
Then we keep getting things coming out recently.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow, my plan is to sit there and play some Half-Life VR mod, that Half-Life 2 VR mod.
Yeah.
That's my plan for a decent proportion of tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I got contacted by the guy who did it via Clickster, I think, or was it? Was it Clueless Dad? Sorry if I've got this wrong. Anyway, I got contacted by the devs And I said, look, I've got 2 friends who'd like to get involved, and therefore I very generously gave you a key.
Oh mate, that is probably my favourite key I've ever been sent, and I haven't even touched it yet. Like I've installed it; it was ready for me today.
Yeah.
Just as my kids got home from school, of course. And I would, that one is definitely a high one on my list. So I'm going to dedicate at least 4 hours tomorrow, having a look at that. Because then I've really got to get back to making more YouTube videos.
You have. Hi, Adam Shave. Adam Shave's just joined the chat. My plan for this week is to get a video ready for World of Mech's release on Thursday, because I think that's going to be like a Population 1 game. It's going to appeal to a certain audience, and it's going to maintain its user base. Because there's a lot to do. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff to unlock. They've got a roadmap. There's going to be a PC version. So, I'm very excited about that. And then, obviously, Half-Life 2. So, yeah, I'm really excited. This week's going to be great. I'm like you. I'm like, do the World of Mechs video and then play Half-Life for the rest of the week.
Yeah, so... Because things are all going a bit weird, because usually on this particular week of my shifts, I would have at least 4 days to get gameplay and videos made, right? This week is not going to work like that. I'm going to have maybe 2.5 days, because it's my birthday soon, so we're doing the whole weekend of family stuff and crazy golf and fire pits and alcohol and all the jazz. So
excellent.
Consequently... There will be content, just not as much as I would hope.
Yeah, exactly.
So right, we've gone over what it was that we have been playing. Where do you want to go from here, Mac? What do you want?
Shall we do some hardware? I'll let you choose, because I've got a list, so I can just cross off.
Let's talk about some hardware. Let's talk about the Apple headset, shall we? That seems like an important one. Everyone's chatting about it, so let me just flick over.
I'm just gonna pop a. That isn't actually what I've just got on my screen. Is the iconic with the blue strap? Have you got that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have.
Yeah,
that's what I have.
That's not a real render. That isn't what it's going to look like. That is just some bollocks that somebody's made up. But obviously, we like to see these things. So,
so we'll leave that on screen. I think is probably the Let's leave that on screen.
Yeah.
While we talk about it.
So, how do you feel about it?
I couldn't give a shit less. Right, just so that we're just right. I want to be immersed in VR, and I want to do all the cool shit, right? And I want
stop. I'll just stop you there, right? I'll just stop you there. So you're not bothered about it then? Because you were a bit ambiguous there.
Okay, so please chat, please give me some stuff here, right? Throw me some curveballs if you want. If any of you are interested in this headset, genuinely interested, more importantly, if any of you are going to actually
buy one,
this, right? Why?
Yeah.
What is it about this that you genuinely want from it? Is it the fact that Apple products have a really smooth and nice interface, and as a company, they do tend to produce things that are fun to use? Fine. In which case, I completely understand what you're saying, and that's a good reason to purchase it, right? If you've got the money spare, or it might be a good reason just to be interested in it. And from that perspective, I am kind of interested in it. But here's the thing. It doesn't run fucking games. Like, they have no interest in games. They have no controllers. It's all going to be with these things, which, don't get me wrong, hands are the best controllers that have ever been existing have ever been made, right?
Especially for certain things.
Yeah. And I want hand controls to get to the point where they're perfect so that I never have to use a controller again unless I want to. But there's nothing about the Apple device that makes me want to purchase it. Right? Now, it's not just the money. Because, Mac, I heard you say in Discord the other day, you think this is going to be a 3K plus product.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is reasonable because it's Apple. I think that's a reasonable speculation. But I can buy an Aero for less than that.
Yeah.
Which I actually give a shit about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guarantee you will be more fun.
Oh, Weeble's here and Cludestad Gamer and
Hey,
Mike
Weeb.
GC. Mike GC's here, brushing teeth. Mac. Oh yes, I was brushing my teeth. GC.
Okay, so yeah, what do you think about this then?
Right. So as soon as I heard it announced, I mean, I'm not an Apple guy. I'm an Android guy. I had a Mac once. I fucking hated it. It was. If you come from a PC world, it's unintuitive. Whereas people use Mac, I mean, I've heard that if you use a Mac, they are very intuitive. But the thing is, with the PC, it's open source. If I want to do something to my PC, I can just go riddler diddler. There'll be a free program, and I can download it, and I can do whatever I want with it. Whereas their Apple Mac is so closed down. They're it was the same with their phone. I had their phone, and when I went to Android, I was like, oh, God, you can do all of this with your phone. So I was... When Apple gets involved, you need to sit up and listen. Because that means, they're a big company. I think it's like half of the mobile phones sold in the world are Apple, and the other half are Android, split between certain amounts of companies. So when Apple get involved, you have to sit up and listen. But I wasn't actually going to buy it myself because I know that Apple do the beautiful, the Apple phones and the Macs and their MacBooks. You look at them and you think, oh, somebody spent a lot of time making that look fucking beautiful. Not just functional, fucking beautiful. So I think that... Sorry.
No. Sorry, I'm just interrupted because I want to say something. As far as like the beauty is concerned of it, because you're not wrong, they are gorgeous products. They are designed to not only be functional but look good sitting on the side, right?
Yeah.
Everything about it is designed to make you happy about that product, and I get that. I don't think my antlion is working.
No, I can hear you.
No, you can. I don't think
Your
my
stream
can. There we go. That should fix it. Apologies, stream. Apologies. No, Fun with the Clicks was saying he was going to practice lip reading. I think you can hear me now. Please let me know. My bad. Anyway, so here's the thing. You say when Apple get involved, you need to stand up and listen. And I don't disagree with that. However, Apple do some things good in their area, right? They've got PCs. Let's call them what they are. They're PCs. Mm-hmm. They do phones, right? They do really good phones. The Apple Car exists.
What?
There is such I'm not sure if this isn't a mainstream thing. This isn't an available thing, but the Apple Car kind of exists, and no one's taking that seriously. And yeah, this isn't quite as taken out of context of their scope as the Apple Car. This is still kind of within their stuff for the eyes. But does that mean that we should be taking them seriously?
So when you say the Apple Car, right, now this is... So what Apple do really well is they go, oh, look at all these innovative features we've done. So you say, oh, right, Apple Car, what have you done? It's got 4 wheels. Oh, that's really innovative. Yeah, and it's got a steering wheel. Oh, that's really innovative. And it's got a touch screen inside. Oh, excellent. And if you crash it, a big bag comes out of the steering wheel. Excellent. Because it's from Apple, I'll go and buy one. The fact that everybody else has been doing this for fucking years. So.
Yeah, but I mean, the exact same argument applies to VR headsets, right? Everyone else has been doing this for fucking years.
Yeah. So what I actually wanted to talk about with the Apple headset is, if you dig into the articles a little bit deeper, it seems to me that Apple themselves aren't fucking interested, because the engineers and the software engineers and everybody involved in making this thing, there's a guy called, he's called John Ive or John Steve Ive, used to be the head, used to work for Apple. He was like one of their main guys, and anyway, he packed in and he now does consultation. The people who are making the VR headset have to get in a fucking plane, fly to see him, show him. He goes, yeah, no. They fly back and go, he said yes, he said no. And the engineers then have to work that problem out. So one of the examples I want to use here is the thing has 14 cameras, right? And it's running a chip which is in a MacBook, I do believe, an M1. I don't know anything about Apple architecture. It's either an M1 chip or an M2 chip, which powers the MacBook. I'm not sure. And they can't cool the fucking thing down because it's made for a MacBook.
And then, for those of you who don't know, MacBooks are made of metal. Like, their whole thing is designed to be a giant heatsink.
Yeah.
Right? In order to prevent sizing, they're making the whole thing out of metal in order to help with it as a heatsink. So something this big is just, you can't make
you can't
the
cool it
heatsink
down
big enough.
So this problem with the cameras, right? So they've put 14 cameras in it. They've got pass-through cameras. They've got cameras for 6 degrees of field and tracking. I was assuming that they put 6 cameras, 3 in each controller. But unless they're actually going to stick them to people's fingers like little tiny weird eyes from Labyrinth. So
we should point out here that, strictly speaking, this does actually have a controller.
Yeah, it's got like a
Strictly speaking, it's got a little clicker.
It's got a little clicker that you put on your finger, yeah.
Yeah, so strictly speaking, it does have a controller of some description. It doesn't purely work off of your hands. But obviously, they're not going to stick 3 cameras or 6 cameras in that tiny little clicker.
No. Yeah, so 14 cameras on one headset. So you've got your, let's say, for example, let's try and work this out. For your pass-through, you need 2 cameras at eye level, and you need perhaps cameras for depth sensing. But Apple decided they wanted people to see the user's face while they had the headset on. So they put a screen here, which means your pass-through cameras are going to have to be up here or here, or here, not where your fucking eyes are. So they've had to work out an algorithm to correct that visual anomaly. So perhaps 4 pass-through cameras, and then 6 cameras for 6 DOF, so that's 10. And
So what Apple are trying to do then is, essentially what they want is for you to be able to stick this on your head and walk to your coffee shop, walk to Starbucks, using your pass-through, and people to still be able to look at your face and have a conversation with you whilst you're still wearing it. Unless they are glasses.
Like these?
Unless they are glasses, right, which is what Nvidia have been working on.
Yeah.
They're ultra-thin screens, right? Unless it's something like that, fuck off. Don't wear a VR headset down to the... Do you know what? That would make an excellent video. I may actually try and do this sorcery thing.
So that Sunday when we were both hungover and we went to Greg's,
yeah,
we should have walked up to Greg's using Quest pass-through and seen how far we got before we got run over, tripped over, or like walked into a lamppost.
Bear in mind that Mac drove us, so that would have been highly illegal and dangerous.
In my defence, No, I have no defense. Right, moving along swiftly. So this I'm going to go back to this problem with the 14 cameras. So they found out that having 12 cameras. That having 12 cameras caused latency because you're getting all this information. Yeah. So they came up with an engineering solution to get rid of the latency, and it didn't work. It reduced the latency. So they came up with another engineering solution. These are chips that also reduced the latency but didn't reduce it enough. And then at that point, somebody in the company turned around and leaked to the press that there's a lack of focus. They don't care about this headset. They're more interested in the phone, the MacBook, and the Mac, which is clearly where they make their money, and the Apple Watch. He said it's over-engineered, which is in itself causing problems because there's a lack of planning. So to me, it seems like they're going, oh, we've got this problem, right? Chuck this at it. Oh, we've got this problem, right? Chuck that at it. And it seems very piecemeal.
So from a marketing perspective, marketing's probably not the right word for it. From a competitive perspective between Meta and excuse me, between Meta and Apple, I think what this is, right? So we've got the level. Okay, here's the level, and we're gonna have Apple on this side, and we're gonna have Meta on this side. Yeah. So Apple have been going, oh, look at that lovely little headset that Meta's doing, and they're doing all of the metaverse stuff, right? And they're not interested in the metaverse stuff. They've said specifically, Apple don't give a shit about the metaverse. But they're like, that's a headset, that's cool, that's the next level of technology. We can't just do what Meta does. Yeah. Because we're Apple. Yeah. And we've got to go above and beyond. Right? And that's what Apple do. They if they see something that they're interested in, they'll make it, and then they'll go, it has to be better than everything that is available anywhere else.
Even though it costs a fortune.
Even if it costs a fortune, it doesn't matter. Someone will buy it. Bear in mind, there is a $1,000 stand that you can buy for your Mac PC. A $999 stand that you can purchase for your Mac PC.
What fucking useless dweeby fucking cunt is going to buy that, mind?
Because somebody will, because it's Apple. But anyway, back to the idea, right? Apple are trying to go way above and beyond. They want to make it as perfect as possible. Meta are sitting here with their Quest 2, and they're like, the hardware's this. That's fine. Let's just make software improvements. Yeah. And that doesn't necessarily... Oh, shit. Fun with the Clicks just said I have one.
Sorry, Clickster. I love you.
The software side of things doesn't necessarily work with the hardware, but they're still innovating, right, with what they have access to. And Apple is struggling to create this perfect big thing up here without actually having an idea of how to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, here's the thing. On the other side of that spectrum, right, Apple's phones are here. Yeah. They're good phones. Meta are just like, quite easy to make a phone, even if it's down here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because everybody else is making them. Samsung are making them. Huawei are making them. I can't think of the other company. OnePlus are making them as a Chinese company. You've got so many phones out there. And the technology is even Google make their own, right? And they're making, as it turns out, several a year now. Because you've now got the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pros available. The 6A is coming out in 2 months. The 7 has now been leaked and is meant to come out in October, November. Yeah. Everyone can make phones. It's not difficult, right? Most phones do basically the same thing. It's just the level at which they do them. So Meta can create a phone. They'll probably make it super cheap in order to get people onto the platform. Yeah. They'll have their Meta OS, and it will integrate with the other stuff that they're doing, because that's easy. Meta could create a TV at this point, and it would be easy.
Yeah. Yeah, Sky Glass, look at that.
Exactly.
It's a television. It's a television with a streaming service, and that's all it is. It's fucking genius. It's basically a Netflix fucking Fire Stick on a 65-inch television.
I mean, we were
Genius.
We were considering getting the Sky Glass
Yeah.
because we need a new TV.
Yeah.
We don't give a shit about having Sky.
Yeah. But it's fucking genius. It's like, oh, look, this is a TV and you get all your Skies in it. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah. It's genius marketing. Back to Apple. People forget.
TLDR. Sorry, I'm just gonna sum up what I just said in case people tuned out during my jabbering.
Jibber jabber fool.
Yeah, exactly. TLDR. Apple want to go too far above and beyond to the point where they're over-engineering their product, and it is going to take longer, cost more to them, but also to the consumer.
Yeah. You forget, or we forget, that Facebook have been involved with VR since Palmer Luckey back in 2014, right? Which was 8 years ago. So they have this experience with VR, which is 8 years old, which is about as long as VR has existed commercially, because the Rift came out in 2016. I think Facebook bought Palmer Luckey out just before the Rift came out in 2017. So like Facebook Reality Labs, or Meta, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. I don't know why they got rid of the word Oculus, but we've talked about this before on the podcast. Oculus is just a beautiful word. It has its presence, and it has the O. It's just lovely.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. Everybody knows what an Oculus is. Why would you buy Hoover and then change the name of it to something else? Because people are just going to go, I want to buy a Hoover. It's called a Meta now. Yeah, I want to buy a Hoover. And the salesman would just go, oh, there it is there. I don't fucking care as long as I sell it. And they have John Carmack. The second smartest man on the planet, next to Elon Musk, possibly.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, okay. He's the most intelligent person on the planet. Do not mess with JC. I love John Carmack. They've got John Carmack, which puts them. Doesn't matter what Apple does. Facebook will be able to do it cheaper.
Here is something else to bear in mind. Okay, as of right now, do you know how much of Meta as a company is actually dedicated to their reality labs?
It just so happens that I do. It's something like 1 in 5.
It is 20% of it's actually 21% of their entire company is dedicated to metaverse-esque stuff.
I'd like to know how
I'd
like to know how big the team is that's working on Apple's VR.
I reckon it's 6 people and a dog.
I reckon it's a skunk work. I reckon it's some. I'm not saying they're not talented engineers, because if you work for Apple, you've obviously got something about you. But I think they're literally in the shed at the bottom of Bob's mum's house, like you said, with a dog and somebody outside with a pipe, and somebody's wearing dungarees.
I imagine like the Apple VR guys being in like a basement somewhere, and it's like one of the ones like the IT crowd where like the actual elevator doesn't work properly, and they end up having to walk up like 16 flights of stairs, and no one really gives them the time of day. And whenever they go to like the food hall, everyone's just like, "Oh yeah, I've been working on the iPhone 17,000, and we've just instigated this really nice piece of hardware and the new glass." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we've just introduced these new lenses." Don't give a shit, Bob. Would you just fuck off back to your basement? No one cares about your VR headset, mate.
And they've got
That's what I imagine.
Yeah, they've got a vampire looking after the servers.
Yeah, exactly.
I fucking love that bit.
Richmond is fantastic.
He's
played by Noel Fielding.
He is. It's the only time I've ever laughed at Noel Fielding. But that's a different subject. Right. So have we destroyed Apple enough?
I mean, I don't think we've destroyed them necessarily. I think what they're doing is relatively forgettable.
Yeah.
I think that's the word it boils down to for me. Like, I see them come out with a new idea every some news heading about, the blue strap, or you know, as we've learned recently, they're trying to put fucking eyes on the front of it, like we wouldn't be able to basically do the same thing with a bunch of LEDs. No one cares, really. No. You say that half the world, when it comes to smartphones, have Apple. Fine. Yeah. Half of that world is not going to buy this headset.
No. And, right, so here's an interesting thing. Historically, when Apple launched their iPhone, it wasn't the first phone, but it was the first like cool phone. It's like, oh, these things could actually fucking take off. And they had a focus on gaming. There was a focus on being able to play games on your phone. I don't understand what you're going to do with this headset. If it's just to make you look cool while you walk down to your coffee shop, your arse fucking coffee shop where you're going to be buying cat shit fucking coffee from some weirdo with a beard, no offence, and a ponytail and, you know, like a tweed jacket on. You know, if that's all you want to do is to look cool while you're walking from Apple headquarters down to get your coffee, people can see your face. Look at me, I've got a VR headset on. What? If it's not for
replace your teeth with diamonds. It's about the same price.
Yeah. I don't see the point of it. I mean, like, so this is why Face Meta, sorry, have actually got it absolutely right. You have the Quest 2. What does the Quest 2 do? It's for gaming, right? You can do a little bit of stuff with it if you have the right keyboard, but it's for gaming, yeah? Boom. You can watch your media on it. It's okay. It's good. It's cheap. How much does it cost? £300. Ooh, that's an impulse purchase. I'll buy one of those. All right. Look what we have here. This is the Cambria. Oh, what's that? Well, it's compatible with the Quest 2, so you can play your games, but it's like a Chromebook for your face. What do you mean by that, Mark? Well, because of the colour pass-through, you can actually work at home, have multiple screens, use your keyboard, absolutely fine. Want to get up and make a cup of tea, just keep the headset on, go and make your cup of tea. All right, what about the wire? It doesn't have a wire. Oh, wow, that's fantastic. That's what Cambria is. Right? What the fuck is this Apple thing? If it doesn't play games?
Here's the thing. Rather than spending 3k on this, just go and buy a Lynx R1.
And a Quest 2. And you still save yourself £1,000.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I want the one where you can see all the bits. That's a bit more expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the dev kit.
Yeah. That is so cool.
It is cool. It is super cool. Yeah, no, for you guys, if you haven't seen it, go check out the Lynx R1.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
I can probably pull up a picture just quickly, actually. Lynx R1.
Right, so Austin Hartley actually he's made the same point that I was trying to make in my chat.
This is what Mac wants.
See, no, it's a valid point. And I did actually mention it earlier. He says, say whatever you like about how much of a disaster Apple's first headset could be, but just having a giant like this entering the VR market is monumental for the future of VR. And I did actually say that, didn't I? I did actually say that.
You did. You said they have to stand up. You have to stand up and listen. And you're not wrong. And what Austin is saying is not wrong.
But I think this is going to be a monumental fuck up. Yes.
I still don't give a shit. Like, what you can see on my screen right now, if you're watching my end of the stream, is the Lynx R1 dev kit. And this intrigues me much, much more, and it is a hell of a lot cheaper.
Yeah, hold on. I'll just put it up on mine.
Not least of which, because this is happening now. The Lynx R1, that's happening right now. Apple is years away. They're nowhere near production.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just getting the picture up so my stream could see it.
Yeah, fun with the clicks. That is exactly what me and Mac have said repeatedly in the past. He said, nice, it reminds me of the see-through Nintendo GameCube, or maybe even the N64s, or maybe even like the Game Boys that were see-through, or any of the Nintendo products when they realised that actually seeing circuitry is fucking kick-ass.
It is. I had the N64 controller that you could see through, and it was great until all the finger smeg started to get in the way. Anyway, if you're wondering what I'm showing there, that is the Lynx R1 dev kit, and I just think it looks so cool. You can see all the cameras along the bottom. You can see the pass-through. Just absolutely cool as fuck. Right,
yeah, see, I'm more interested when Amazon gets involved in the XR space, as Rift Traveler has just said, more than I am for Apple. And Google, I mean, Google have got they shared some glasses, I think, a few weeks back.
Yeah.
That is looking promising, that look very similar to the, I can think of the website, I can't think of the name of them. They were going to send me some. But they are sort of XR glasses, which look pretty cool. But yeah, that's what I want. I want something that I can walk onto a plane with, and still feel like I can do most of what I can do on my headset, but maybe not graphically.
Yeah. So I've just had a really good question in the chat there from Who's in the Name. So I'll just ask you, and then we can talk about it. How do you feel about PSVR 2?
At this moment in time, I am less and less and less excited for it.
Okay, I was curious.
Mainly because I am less and less and less likely to be buying a PS5 at this moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
Not least of which because not last podcast we did, but the one before, we discussed specifically about how the PS5 is aging.
Yeah.
And
but
that worries me.
But we did talk about this as well, and you poo-pooed it, and I didn't. What if it is compatible with PC VR?
Yeah, and the moment that someone says that is the moment that I think, right, well, then I don't even need a PS5. So yeah, this becomes a very viable purchase when both of us are pretty certain, if I remember correctly, that the PSVR 2 is going to come out around the $400 to $500 mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I am willing, things that I already paid £400 for my Quest 2, because I have the bigger one, I am already willing to pay that for a headset.
Yeah.
Even if it has a wire in it. Even if it's wired.
Yeah.
If it's got all that gear in it.
Yeah. Well, we're talking here about the pancake lenses, the face tracking, the eye tracking, and more importantly, we keep fucking going on about it on this podcast, foveated rendering, which is going to change everything.
And facial haptics.
Oh, and facial, and those controllers.
The controllers are gorgeous.
What they should do is they should make big fake ones that you can display. Because they're art. They are art.
They are.
And especially when you're playing and you punch your granny accidentally in the face, you're not going to hurt your knuckles because you're completely covered. Not that I'm saying you should punch.
Here's the thing, right? The Quest 2 controller is not art. It is a good-looking controller, right? I think all of the curves are done really, really well, and it is, if nothing else, it is now iconic.
Yeah. So again, we go back to this, don't we? The Quest controller is the Xbox controller of the VR world. This is iconic. This is a really well designed controller, and I agree with you completely. I think that the Quest 2 controller is very well thought out and it is iconic.
Here's the thing, though, is that to me at least that makes a difference. The fact that I like the look of the controller,
yeah.
I don't love it, but I like it. That makes a big difference. And then. And this, I know this is shitting on your lawn a little bit, but the Pico Neo Link controllers,
they look odd.
Awful.
They look odd. They look like the original Rift controllers. They look a bit. Do you remember I told you about that when Top Gear did that thing about the Chinese Mini, and they said it looked like somebody had looked at a Mini, drawn it from memory, faxed it to his mate, and then they made it. That's what the Pico Neo 3 Link controllers look like to me. It looked like somebody's tried to describe the Quest 2 controllers over the phone. It's almost there. I mean, I'll find out in June when I get. I mean, they've taken payment, so I'm obviously in the beta. They haven't sort of emailed me or anything to say I am, but I'm obviously in. They took the payment out on May the 24th, which is when Italy, France, Germany, and the Netherlands were supposed to be getting their headsets. So I had a little bit of a frisson that I was actually going to get mine on May 24th. But now they dropped a big turd on me because they haven't actually said anything yet.
That's gutting. Okay, right. We should definitely move on because so far we've only covered 2 main subjects and it is an hour into the podcast. So,
well, it means it's a good podcast because we're engaged.
I agree. Whether or not you guys are, I hope you are.
And I got to get my Xbox controller out again. Oh, no, actually, no. I was going to make a valid point about the PSVR here. And it was going back to that thing about the Xbox fucking controller that I got for Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's quite simply, how about if they do what Xbox are doing with the Game Pass and they say, you don't have to own a PS5. You just need to own the Sony Game Pass or whatever it's called. And they released
locked to the software on PC. That would be a thing.
Right.
I would still buy it at that point.
Yeah. So if anybody's unaware, and again, we talk about this on the podcast all the time. For the first time in 20 years, I did not buy an Xbox console on launch. But my wife knows how much I love Halo. So she bought me Game Pass and this controller because she found out that I could play Halo on my PC. So how about this? You buy your PSVR 2 and a PS5 Game Pass or whatever it's called, and you can then play PSVR through your PC.
Yeah, see, I like that idea, and if they did that, someone's going to hack it, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Fine, whatever. If they do that, I'm going to be happy.
If you look on Steam, 0.3% of Steam VR users are PSVRs. Somebody's done it. Somebody has actually done it.
Oh, yeah. Someone will always do it.
Clever people. Clever people. So I'm just checking my...
Yeah, so we will... I completely disagree with you, my
See you later, Adam Shave.
Not bothered about a great-looking controller. I just want it to work and feel okay in the hand. After all, you can't see it. Now, that is obviously a personal statement, and that's fine. Whatever, if you're happy with it looking bad, then good for you. However, no technology gets pushed forwards more than good-looking technology.
Yeah.
When stuff starts to look good, like if the original iPhone had all of the stuff that it could do but looked crap,
yeah,
it wouldn't have sold anywhere near as much. The fact that it was iconic in how it looked, the fact that it had a completely mirrored back, it was a full screen, it was smooth, it was curved, it was at the
felt
time,
nice.
It was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, it felt good in your hand.
Yeah,
didn't it?
And if it had been square and angular, I don't think it would have sold anywhere near as much.
No, I'm going to use.
And
yeah. Sorry.
No, sorry. What we need in our niche of gaming is it to look good. I want the kids to see it and be like, I want to be like that guy who's wearing the cool-looking face hugger. Strapped to his face, and he's got the cool-looking controllers or the cool-looking haptic gloves. That's what we need.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go back to a very old quote from Formula One, and it was I think it was like Williams back in the 1990s brought out the FWB whatever it was, and it was the one that dominated. And one of the commentators said, "Ooh, that's a good-looking car." And James Hunt, one of my all-time heroes, it might have been the 80s then because I think he died in the... James Hunt, one of my all-time heroes, says, if a car looks good, it's usually fast. And it's true. If something looks good, you're like, you can forgive it a few things, can't you? It's like, look at that. Oh, a little bit of Mac juice came out there. Sorry.
Gross.
Moving on swiftly.
which you can see is a bit different to something you can't, like a Pro Tube. Yeah, the Pro Tube, you can't see the Pro Tube, and that's fine, but other people can.
Yeah.
And if you don't care about that, then that's fine.
I display I display my Pro Tube.
I think your Pro Tube looks awesome. I think my Pro Tube looks awesome.
I've got the carbon Pro Tube. Thank you very much to Pro Tube for sending me the carbon tubes. Actually, my Pro Tube, right? My Pro Tube is the original tube that I bought in 2017, right? But it's like Trigger's broom. It's had the carbon. I think it's had the carbon tubes. It's had the force tube upgrade. So actually, the only things are the originals are the two joints that hold all three tubes together. But apart from that, it's the original.
See, this is the thing. I've got my haptic, my force tube right here, and I love this thing. It is wonderful.
That's the original. That'll be a classic.
It's the original. Exactly, and I'm never gonna sell this because they sent it to me as a thank you for doing the review.
Yeah,
and I cannot thank them enough for that. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about this is the red, and it makes sense because like their
Pro Tube VR,
is in red, and that makes sense for it to be in red. But I'm just not a red guy. I'm just not. I'm a green guy, I'm a pink guy, I'm a neon blue guy, I'm a purple guy. I can do all of these things. I can do grey, that's fine. I can do silver, gold, I can do all of these. I'm just not a red guy.
Have you got friends who do cosplay? You must have.
Yeah.
You must have. They must make guns and stuff and they paint them. Just get them to paint it for you.
I actually have a 3D printer.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I'm actually thinking about asking them if they could send me just the STL for this part. So that I'm not taking away all of their stuff. I just want that specific part so that I can print it out in pink.
I think in about 10 years' time when Force Tube will probably be banned because some vegan chipped a tooth, I'm probably going to go back and ask Face because ProTube sent me that.
Yep.
And I gave it to Face because they sent me the upgraded one as well. So I think in about 10 years' time, that's going to be an icon, and I may have to go back and ask Face for it back. Sorry, Face.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's move on. Let's do some software. We've done a lot of hardware.
We have done a lot of hardware. We still have some hardware to do, though.
We do have some hardware, but I would like to jump through a load of our software.
Okay, fire away.
Okay, so the first one I wanted to talk about, let's do two quick ones. The first of which I wanted to discuss was Little Cities.
Yeah. Now, this caught me out because I thought that Cities VR was going to be more popular. And you said, no, when I come home from work, I want to crack a beer and chill. And it turns out you were right.
I don't think that I was right. I don't think that's the reason. Yeah, I know. I was thinking about this earlier. Although I think that has something to do with it. What I think is actually the case, having looked at it, because I haven't played Cities VR. I have played Little Cities.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. It's so much fun to play, and it is quite chill, and you just feel happy. Here's the thing. I think what has happened is the classic, this is made from the ground up for VR.
Oh, yes, Cities VR is a port, isn't it?
It's not a port as such, because it's a reimagining for VR. So they have built it up for VR. However, Little Cities had nothing to go off of. Like, they'd never created a city game like this.
Yeah.
So what I think they did was just like, what do we want to play as a city builder in VR? And that's what they made. Whereas Cities VR, rather than Little Cities, what I think they did is said, right, we already own this IP called City Skylines. How do we make that in VR and keep all of the things that people want from City Skylines in VR?
Right.
And I think what they may have done is made some sacrifices in order to have these elements in there that realistically make it less fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're getting at, yeah. Yeah, I see what you're getting
because there's no way, like I saw a lot of people talk about you've got all of these documents that you need to keep an eye on for your budgeting and like your power usage and everything like that. And the fact that you had to like flip through these things, you couldn't have them set out on the side, you couldn't attach them to the back of your hands. And I think that was like the big one, is it just wasn't as fun. And this is fun.
Yeah. Haven't played either. I haven't played either. So yeah, I mean, I feel a bit bad. I don't have the time. I'd love to play them.
That's fair.
I'd love to play them. I'd love to play both of them. I'd love to try them out, but honestly, I just don't have the time.
So Little Cities came out, I think, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and not only did it put its release date back to move away from Cities VR, but also the showcase, and they didn't want that to overshadow their release. Mm-hmm. So they actually took the hit of going back a few weeks and losing that possible revenue early, in order to separate themselves out, which I think shows magnificent restraint from a company as small as this. Even I know it's Dreams and they're quite big, but the actual developers are quite small because it's just a couple of people. It's just a literal married couple that have made this. So not only that, but they are now in the top 10 selling games on the Oculus Store. That's phenomenal.
It is. It's amazing. I love stories like that. I love stories like that.
So yeah, well done to Purple Yonder. I think it's called Purple Yonder for doing that. That was the first thing I wanted to talk about. Is there anything you want to mention about that?
I was just going to say, when I first got into VR in 2016, there was a little game out called Onward, and it was made by one guy called Dante Buckley. And he released the game and he built a community, and the community got involved and they helped to build the game. And then he's been bought out by Meta for however much money. But well played. I admire anybody that has the balls to do that. There's another game out by a guy called Rune Johansson, and it's called Eye of the Temple, and it's an indie game. It's released on Steam. It's a full sort of Eye of the Temple. It's called Eye of the Temple. It's like a full Indiana Jones sort of game. You've got a fucking fedora and one of those things that goes a whiplash. And it's brilliant. And it was made a whip, and it was made by one guy. And I made loads of videos about it because I thought it was fucking brilliant. But yeah, I admire anybody that does that. I
genuinely think if that game had, because it's not on Quest, is it? As far as I remember.
No, they can't do it on Quest because it's like a perpetual world. The whole thing is a puzzle. And
it's such a pity because that would be perfect on Quest. I think it would sell so much on Quest.
They also had mixed reality built in as well, which you can do on Quest with the Live app. That if he could port that to Quest, he would make money because that is a great game.
Hang on, I'm just going to show people Eye of the Temple in case they haven't seen it. Eye of the Temple, because it is a really, really cool looking game.
I did a whole video on it.
I know you did, but I just want to show them the trailer.
Which was made by Anna Byrne, I do believe.
It looks like it.
Who is also...
It is. Anna Byrne is fantastic. If you don't know Anna Byrne, she makes some absolutely phenomenal mixed reality videos, and you can see here...
She's incredible.
She dresses up for it. They really go all out with making stuff look as brilliant as possible. I mean, look at what this game is doing. Okay, this is making you feel like you're genuinely walking around inside the game. Oh yeah, it just looks phenomenal.
That's not Anna Byrne, I'd just like to point out. I've got the one with the big fat dude.
Oh, okay, I went for the launch trailer.
Oh, there she is. There she is.
But yeah, no, it's a phenomenal looking game.
That's Anna Byrne. And yes, she is. She's a very talented creator. She's also a very nice person as well.
She is. I highly advise going and liking and subscribing to her YouTube and her Twitter, because she, like, so many different companies are asking her to do their trailers. Like, was it what game was that? Was it Drums? No, it wasn't Drums Rock. It was the other drum game. Smash Drums.
Smash Drums. Against. They asked her to do there. Yeah,
because like she works really well with music videos and things like that. So.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. So if you haven't subscribed to her, she's called Anna Byrne on YouTube. She's called Anna Byrne Official on Twitter. Just go and watch her remake of Lady Gaga's video in VR while she's playing Beat Saber. Honestly, it's again,
it's so good.
It's so good. It's jaw dropping. She has all the characters. She has all the costumes, and in the background, she's playing Beat Saber 2, the Lady Gaga track. It's just. We're crap. We're crap compared to her, aren't we?
Yeah, 100%.
We are.
Okay, so we've looked a little Eye of the Temple, which we didn't mean to do, but it was worth showing you guys.
Oh, I love Eye of the Temple. If you have a PC game, if you have a PC that can run VR, and you have a 2 meter by 2 meters play space, it is basically all your Tomb Raider and Indiana Dreams rolled into one. It's incredible. It's one of the best. It was my innovation of the year 2021 in my awards. It was my VR innovation of the year, because you've never played anything like it. Anyway, go and have a look.
Okay, so
we've done World of X.
Let's move on then to a news story that I put out a video for today, which I think is worth actually taking note of, because you hear about games that are launched and don't go anywhere, and you hear about games that are launched that do go places. We don't often hear in the VR world about games that are actively cancelled. Yeah,
absolutely right.
Because we don't quite know what's going to work in the VR world yet. And so what we see more than anything is games being released and worked on even past when they've been released. And I'm not going to mention the exact game. There was a game that I was working with the developers and the producers of, which I knew wasn't going to go anywhere. And it was sad because they had a really good idea. But it wasn't what people wanted. Their target audience was so small of a niche, there was no possible way they could have recouped their losses for what they'd spent on it.
Yeah. Which is a shame.
Which is a shame. So, yeah, we have a game that I think last week was announced that they were actively cancelling it. And it's a game that I was really excited for after the VR showcase. Not least of which because it was still showing some innovation in the PC VR space. Yeah. So the Upload VR showcase happened in December. And they showed us this game, which is Outlier. Outlier is a... You loading up a video?
No, I actually don't have this video loaded up. I'm not going to... Yeah, you just talk about it. Keep talking.
Okay, so, it's a roguelike game where you are on an alien planet, and it has several different types of weapons, which are really cool, because they're not your average type of weapon. For instance, there's a gun where if it overheats, you have to actively shake it to cool it down. There's another gun that it has infinite ammo. All the guns have infinite ammo. But this one, it fires 6 shots, and then you have to sort of whip it back to bring those shots back into your gun. And that's really cool. And it has spells that you plug into the back of your hands, and you can leap over everything, and you can pick up stuff like environmental items to throw with telekinesis. And that's all really cool. I like the idea of that. It's very actiony. It's very... everything's going on. However, even on a 2080 Super, it didn't run particularly well.
Yeah.
And that was a bit worrying.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, it's only on PCVR, as I've said. And so I was a little bit disappointed because I paid full price for it. I didn't get sent a key or anything like that. I paid for this game. And I played for the first 10 minutes. I was like, okay, it's a little glitchy, but fine. It's fun. And the next hour, I was like, this is okay. And then the next hour, I was like, I'm bored. Because as with roguelikes, the idea is that you go in, you die, you try again, you die, you go again, you try again, you die, you upgrade.
Yeah, but in that case, then there's a game that I play called In Death Unchained, and that is, I know Weeble's a big fan as well. It's so good that you don't care when you get killed; you just want to go straight back.
Yeah, and it's the same with this. You don't necessarily care that you've been killed, but it was only so many times I could just go back because I didn't feel like I was actually progressing very well.
All right, okay.
It didn't reward me for doing these things very well.
Yeah.
And that was kind of sad. But anyway, yeah, the company, Joyways...
Which is a big company. You know, they're not like a small company.
Big company. They have actively announced that... they've actually actively announced several things. One, that they didn't think this game had any chance of being able to be monetarily sustainable, as in it wouldn't bring in enough money for them to actually not even be close to breaking even with what they would spend on developing it any further, despite the fact that it's been released as an early access for 2 months. But also that they had drastically underestimated what it would take to make a good roguelike game.
All right, okay, that's interesting.
They said, like, the fact that they were they said officially that they underestimated what it would take to do this and that they had failed. Wow. I have a lot of respect for a company that is willing to actually say, we did wrong, we are sorry, and they have actively said as well that you should feel free to refund the game.
Oh wow, that is yeah.
That you should actively go and speak to Steam and get a refund for the game because they're not going to be doing anything with it, and it is definitely not acceptable in its current state. I've decided, as a VR enthusiast and a creator, that I'm not going to refund my copy.
So yeah, okay. So to support the developer.
2 reasons. One is to support the developer. The main reason actually is not because I'm supporting the developer. My main reason is that I want to keep it on my Steam list for prosperity.
The first VR game to ever get cancelled.
I don't think it's necessarily the first game to be cancelled. I think it's the first major game to be cancelled.
From a big company, yeah.
Yeah, I think I kind of want it on my list, and it's cost me 20 quid or whatever it was. Fine, I can suck that up. But yeah, also, as you say, it is supporting the developer. And Joyway make one of my favourite VR games.
Come on. No, I can't do it.
You must
know
what it is. You must know what it is.
It's bugging me. I know the developer's name, and I know as soon as you say it.
Well, you've already mentioned one of their games tonight, actually.
Okay.
Not the game that I care about, but you mentioned Against, which is a Joyway game.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now, yes. Yeah.
I like Against. I think it's a good game, but it's... Honestly, I'd rather play Beat Saber most of the time. But the game that I actually love from them, and I will find a video for that as well. Stride VR.
Oh,
Stride. Is Stride.
Yeah. There's just been a big update for Stride as well, isn't there?
Hang on. Time run update. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's show you.
I've never played it, but I have. What was the Mirror's Edge? on the Xbox. Can't remember which one it was. I loved that game. That was like a parkour sort of. Yeah, that was such a good game. I like the idea behind Stride. Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah, so Stride is, as you say, it's very Mirror's Edge like. Even to the point of the color schemes are very similar to Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge was white and the 3 primaries.
Yeah, that's right.
And in Stride, they actually add green and a few other bits as well. But generally speaking, you can definitely see where the Mirror's Edge feel comes into it. There are several different modes to play from. You've got time trials, which are really fun. You've got an infinite escape mode where you're trying to get away from this horrible sort of glitchiness that's trying to follow you. Or you've got the open city mode where you've actually got a gun and you are actively trying to hunt down contracts within the city. And that's so much fun. And the parkour in it feels genuinely like you're parkouring to the point where you're running around going, parkour! 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 Parkour!
And then you remember that you're a slightly overweight 55-year-old man whose knees are a bit dodgy.
Oh, mate, it genuinely knackers you as well because the only way you can run is by running.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. That's so cool.
It is actually quite energetic as well because you're running and you're leaning to do wall runs and things.
Yeah.
And then you're reaching up to grab onto ledges. It's well worth it on both Quest and PC VR.
Good.
Outlier has been cancelled, officially cancelled. And that's kind of sad, but kind of cool that something like this has happened.
Yeah. So we're going to talking about games that have been cancelled and talk about games that are in limbo. So there's a company that makes a game called Wardust, and they also the company that made Gang 5, and they're also Raptor Labs, and they're also the people that made the battle royale called Standout. So what they tend to do is they tend to bang a game out, forget about it, bang another game out, go back to the other game, say, oh yeah, sorry, we haven't updated this for a while, and we haven't been back to Gang V for a while, but I really like Wardust.
I do.
They've just had a massive user update, which was done basically by the dev team and fans. It's had a massive graphical overhaul, and it's had a huge overhaul to all the mechanics and all of the maps. And I only found out about it because it updated on Steam this morning while I was downloading, bizarrely enough, the Half-Life 2 mod. And I read the patch notes and I was like, oh, I've got to get back into this. I've got to get back into Wardust if they've done that. Because Wardust is one of those games that's been around for years. It's like 3 or 4 years old, I think.
Yeah.
And it has a very active, admittedly compact user base with that bloody Russian who's so good he just can kill you from 350 meters away with an M16.
What's his name?
Yeah. You know who it is, don't you?
I know exactly who it is.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. You actually said he's a nice guy. Or was it Surjical?
He is. He's a genuinely nice
You said
guy.
He's a genuine. He's just a horrible person to play against because he's so good. He's so. But the thing I like about Wardust as well, when they kill you. What?
Sorry, carry on. I will talk about what I was going to talk about in a sec.
Yeah, so
it's about Wardust.
The thing I like about Wardust is when you get killed, or you actually the person gets like 2 seconds of your feed, and you go, "What the fuck?" And all you could hear was this Russian guy laughing.
Yeah. So, I think I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. There is a Discord dedicated to Wardust, and they are a great bunch of people. It's run by Tiger Tim VR, I think his name is, and a bunch of others. But they run a dedicated testing and modding servers on a Saturday and Sunday evening. Most of them, I think, are British, so it's Saturday and Sunday evening UK time. So at the moment, that would be BST. I think it's around 7:30, somewhere around there. And they test out all sorts of modded maps and maps that they've been creating. But I think the 2.0 Wardust is almost exclusively made by all of them.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's the user base and the dev team have basically like modded the game to make it 2.0. So when I read it, I was like, oh, I've got to get back in. So I'm looking at my watch. I don't know why I'm looking at my watch. What the fuck would I look at my watch for? Hopefully this week I get some time to drop into it, because I did buy it. I do like it. It's just when that bloody Russian's in. As nice as he is, he's a git.
I've got the video up, sort of going at the moment, so I'm hoping to try and remember what the Russian's name is.
I spawned in. I got one of those little quad bikes, and he killed me from 350 meters away instantly with an M16. I was like, I don't even know where you are. I don't even know where you are. So yeah, but Wardust is great. Basically, if you don't know what it is, it's Battlefield, 64-player Battlefield in VR. It's incredible. It's incredibly good fun. If you get a good team together, it's so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, whether you like driving vehicles, using sniper rifles, or you just want to use your M16, it's so much fun. The only thing about Wardust that is bad is the leveling system. Yeah. The leveling system is absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
However, and this is one of the few games, especially online games, that I will ever say this about. If you're going to play Wardust, if you're going to purchase Wardust, cheat your level system. Do not try and work your way through it. It doesn't feel like you've earned it. It doesn't feel like you are doing well because of it. What it feels like is that somebody is constantly flicking you in the balls over and over and over. Because once you get to, say, level 16, you can play for 8 to 10 hours and only just unlock the next level of a particular what am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for?
Upgrade? Attachment?
No, so you're
Scope?
either a rifleman or...
Oh, right, okay. Medic?
Class.
Yes, there you go.
So you've got to do this for each class as well.
I'd just like to put the hand up here and say, apologies. He's not drunk. He's just really tired. All right.
I am just really tired. Yeah, like you, in order to
Alexei
to get through all of that.
Alexei.
Yeah. That is the guy. That's the Russian guy.
Cheers, Sergi.
So yeah, in order to go through all the levels, it takes forever. And if you're not planning on playing this religiously, you will never ever unlock everything. However, there are dedicated servers where you can hop in, and it looks like shit, leave your headset on, disappear for a couple of hours, and it will farm XP for you. so that you can actually play the game. So that you can actually hop in and play the game. And that's the thing I always hated about Battlefield, was having to farm XP. Yeah. Because it wasn't fun, it wasn't tactical. You were just doing things in order to get XP.
Yeah.
And that sucked.
What I like is a constant stream of, not even just like important stuff, just like a skin, an attachment, an upgrade to my, a new silencer that doesn't actually do anything. Like a little toggle I can put on my gun that has like a frog on it or something. Sorry, Weeble says sounds like a game Weeble could excel at. She says Shewey's having a Mac and Weeble OAP moment. He's just tired. He's done a 20-hour shift, man. Give him a break.
Yeah, that was a rough one yesterday. I did a 12-hour shift and then everything went wrong, so I stayed and carried on. And then I did 5 a.m. yesterday until 1 a.m. this morning.
Solidarity, VR brother. Solidarity.
See, now I would understand solidarity if I was doing 20 hours of actual VR. That would be much cooler. Anyway, so yeah, we've spoken about Raptor Labs. We've spoken about Eye of the Temple. We've spoken about Outlier.
Shall we talk about some hardware?
It's up to you. I need to take a break. So do you want to do some hardware, or do you want to do something while I take 3 or 4 minutes?
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll swap the comfort breaks. I'll talk, and when you get back, I'll fuck off and you can talk.
Okay, what are you talking about while I'm gone?
I'm going to talk about oh no, I can't, because that was one of your subjects, wasn't it?
Which one was that?
I was going to talk about the Windows 11 upgrade.
No, go for it.
Oh,
mate.
no,
Go
of
for
course.
That's
Then
fine.
Then, yeah, okay. Right. And I might also mention something when you get back that I haven't actually announced to people. As long as Serge says it's all right. Is the video out yet, Serge? He needs to answer. Right, I'll talk about Windows 11.
Okay, yeah. I'll be as quick as possible.
Okay, mate.
BRB, people.
Yep. So what happened was last time, Shooey went for a comfort break. I went for a comfort break. When we came back, everybody fucked off. So I've got to try and keep you entertained until Shooey's had a wee and a cigarette. So I've been approached by Clickster, and he suggested that we do what I have called a virtual reality-a-thon, a 12-hour virtual reality gaming session in support of mental health. Because, as you may be aware, and I've been quite open about it on my channel, I did actually suffer from a lot of mental health issues due to my time in the army and all the crap I saw when I was in the fire brigade for 20 years. And then there was a post by Gamertag and Beardo Benjo, who both mentioned the fact that they were struggling with mental health. Obviously, the young guys, they're in their, I don't know how old, their 20s or 30s. And it's a big issue. It's a big issue for young men, because it's us. I'm including myself in the young men there before anybody says anything. It's us that commit suicide. It's emergency services workers. It's ex-soldiers. It's young guys who should have the world at their feet but feel that they don't. So Clickster approached me to do a 12-hour VR-a-thon, that's what I'm calling it at the moment, in support of mental health. So I'm trying to gauge interest. So if you think this is a good idea, hit me up in the chat. Message me on Discord. We're trying to sort of... The idea is we're going to have a core team, me and Clickster and 2 others, and we're going to play some multiplayer games. We're going to do some Demio. We're going to try and invite some bigger YouTubers in. Maybe we're going to approach Steve Knows, Mike from VRO, Beardo Benjo himself, and Gamertag. We're going to try and get them involved in games that can maybe, do a bit of Pop 1, do a bit of Demio, like we said. But the idea is to do a 12-hour VR-a-thon and try and raise money for mental health charities, which I think is a great idea. So shout out in the chat if you think that's something you'd be interested in getting involved in or watching. So, yeah, it'll be a long day. We're going to probably start about 10 a.m. to finish at 10 p.m. We haven't set a date yet because it's in the very early stages. I'm actually jumped the gun. I've probably mentioned this before anybody else was ready to sort of talk about it, but there you go. I'm just going to quickly read the chat. A thong. Okay. Yeah, so as an aside, my very good friend Surjical from Surjical Gaming VR. If you don't know who he is, go on YouTube right now and search for Surjical Gaming VR. Make sure you subscribe. His channel's very small, but his content is really good. Really, really good quality content. So Surjical has decided to do a series of interviews using Neos. So if you don't know what Neos is, it's basically this is the lazy way to describe it. It's basically a more sophisticated VR chat. So it's a more modern engine. There's more stuff you can do. You can use full body avatars. So I'm just talking about Neos. And Surjical is interviewing Skeever, who's a very well-known VR content creator, and he's interviewed him in Neos.
That's pretty cool.
With 3D avatars. And believe me, it looks amazing. They have a proper set. They're in their 3D avatars. There's future interviews coming out. So Skeever's interview is out now. So if you go into the description of this live stream, you should see a link to Surjical's YouTube channel. You'll also see a link to Shooey's YouTube channel. So go and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Go to Surjical's channel, subscribe, and the Skeever interview is out now. So go and watch that. I do believe he has 2 more interviews in the bag. One of them might contain one of your favourite YouTubers.
Favourite YouTubers, you say?
Yeah, not me. It's Gamertag. No, it's not. I'm just joking. So while you're away, there's an idea that we had that me and Clickster were talking about, and it's basically a VR marathon to raise money for mental health charities. Yes. So we are going to start at 10 a.m. in the morning, finish at 10 p.m. at night. We're going to play VR for 12 hours. Obviously, we want to get people involved, want to know if it's a good idea. So, I mean, we've talked about this already, haven't we? Have we talked about this?
We briefly talked about
this, yeah.
On the last show.
We did, yeah.
That we wanted to do something. So, yeah, we are in talks with Clickster in order to try and get some ideas and, try and get more people involved.
Actually, what we did was we tried to get Clickster to organise it and we just turn up. But it turns out he's just as bad as organising as we are.
We will get something sorted. We promise we will get something sorted because it's something that we both believe in greatly when it comes to mental health awareness. Both of us have had issues in the past and continuing to have. So anything we can do to help with that, whilst also raising awareness for VR and having an absolute blast with people that we enjoy playing with. Yeah, great. Sign us both up.
Yeah, and we can raise some money as well. So if you're unaware, a couple of weeks ago, actually, Shooey took the time to drive up to my house and we actually met. And after everybody had fucked off, we had a really long conversation. Basically, it was like a bro conversation. And it helped me immensely because it helped me to realise that, you know, I'm an older guy who's been through a load of shit. He's a younger guy who's been through a load of shit. We've all been through a load of shit. So let's just try and talk to each other about it and try and help each other out. So
yeah, we'd done all the bro things for the day. We'd done had a look at some VR. We'd met some guys. We'd drunk some beers. We'd ordered a pizza. We watched a John Wick movie.
Smoked some cigars.
Fucked off. Smoked some cigars. And then I think it was like 1:30 in the morning, wasn't it? We were both a little bit tipsy, and we both sort of got a load of shit off our chests. And honestly, like, we'd love to be able to help some more people to do that and realize that they're not on their own. That there are other people that have these issues.
Yeah,
there are people that have struggles in their lives. And honestly, VR helps a lot for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
To cope with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps. Like, those 3 hours that I played World of Mechs on Sunday, I forgot about everything except being in a big mech, stomping around and shooting lasers at people. It was marvellous. So if we can do that, get people involved, talk about stuff. Dude, you're not alone. I feel the same. He feels the same. Just talk about it. Just talk about it. Doesn't matter. You don't have to tell us your life story. Just tell us how you feel. We'll get there.
Exactly. Exactly.
It was absolutely wonderful.
Right. Do you want to have a comfort break, Mac? What does Shooey want to talk about for that comfort break? That is the question.
Well, actually, I talked about two things that I hadn't got on my list, and that was the marathon and Serge's interview with Skeever. So you can talk about whatever you want. I'll be back literally in 2 minutes.
Okay, cool. Right, so what I'm going to talk about is something that Mac won't have actually experienced, and that is what we said that he was going to talk about before I left. If anybody, if he went over this at all, then please tell me so that I'm not boring you guys. I guess it might be. It's a slightly boring subject, but it's worth noting. Today, who was it that came up with this? I can't remember exactly who specific. It might have been John Carmack. Said that there is a fix in the pipeline for Windows 11 users when it comes to AirLink. So, if any of you guys have actually have played with AirLink on Windows 10, it works relatively well. In fact, there are some pretty cool things that even Mac didn't realize you can do. For instance, in your Oculus Home on AirLink, you can, all of your games that you have in your Oculus library are actually pictured as cartridges that you pop into an old NES looking, a Nintendo Entertainment System looking console, and they will load up from there, including Population 1. You have an old school sort of 1632-bit cartridge looking thing that you pop into it, and that's really cool. And then you press the start button and everything loads up, and that's great. I love that stuff. It really sort of lends itself well to the Ready Player One Oasis thing that me and Matt keep banging on about that we love. And it was a really good experience. Don't get me wrong, I think that Virtual Desktop was a far superior experience overall because it didn't give you that sort of thing, but everything felt and worked a lot better in my opinion, and in Mac's opinion. We both have videos on setting up Virtual Desktop, and it's great. Problem is, Microsoft have been asking us to move over to Windows 11 now for 8-9 months. Now, my new PC that I had delivered a couple of weeks ago, that came with Windows 11. And it also obviously comes with the big problem that everyone's experienced, which is a huge amount of judder, sort of stuttering, juddering, whatever you want to call it, when you're using Oculus AirLink. And that sucks. How can this problem persist for that long? Do they really not care about this software that they're providing, which is the AirLink software? Like, all new PCs are being shipped out with Windows 11. So then do they just not care about the people that are using Windows 11? I'm not certain. But do you know what? Virtual Desktop doesn't have that problem because Guy Godin makes sure as much as possible that his software works as perfectly as it can with every system that Virtual Desktop is available for. So even at this stage, Guy Godin is one man.
Oh, Windows 11?
Windows 11. Guy Godin is one man, and he can make a system, he can make a software, an app that works flawlessly, almost flawlessly. And yet we're still at the stage where Windows 11, because Mac warned me about Windows 11 when I got my new PC. He was like, "Oh yeah, that's the one that everybody's having the problems with."
Yeah.
Here's the thing though, because I use Virtual Desktop, I didn't understand what he was talking about.
Yeah. Exactly. I didn't realize that actually that Virtual Desktop wasn't having the problem because Guy Godin had engineered around the problem. It's just AirLink and Link. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, John Carmack has announced that there is a fix in the pipeline, but as with everything else he announces there is a fix for, he can't give us a date.
Like Andrew Bosworth with the Facebook fucking login debacle. This is what John Carmack should do. Hello, Guy. Can I have a word? Because I know that they actually communicate directly on Twitter, because there was a software update that broke a feature of Virtual Desktop, and Guy Godin tweeted, and John Carmack responded immediately, and it was fixed within a couple of hours.
And that's how it should be.
And that's how, that is how it should be. I mean, I think it was all server side, so yeah.
I mean, that's all of everything like that. It's all part of the same ecosystem. Like, Virtual Desktop and Guy Godin are separate from Meta.
Yeah.
But they're in a symbiotic relationship, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't really understand why they didn't just... I don't know if Guy was offered at any point and he refused, or whether they just decided to go around it in creating the Airlink system. I don't understand why they didn't try and buy him out.
It was weird. I watched this whole thing on Twitter because basically Guy Godin said, because at the time you had to buy Virtual Desktop on SideQuest, which meant you had to have a developer account, and it was a fucking massive chew on. And then Guy Godin was like, oh, I've been put forward for App Lab approval, which meant you didn't have to have a developer account. You could just download the software direct from your Quest headset. And then all of a sudden they went, no, there you go, you're on the main Quest store. And then they brought Airlink out about a week later. Yeah, why didn't they just say, okay, you can have Virtual Desktop for free and we'll pay Guy Godin loads of money? Or maybe they did and Guy Godin went, or whatever they do in Slovakia, wherever he is.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though.
Rift Traveller said they tried to buy him out.
Yeah,
but he didn't want what they offered. Yeah. Wow. Oh, okay.
So
here's
the thing then. If he didn't like it, why didn't they refuse his entry onto the store?
I don't think they could. He recently tweeted, why haven't I been given access to Project Cambria, as my app is the biggest selling app on the Quest store? And it is. I know this for a fact because, like, Virtual Desktop, any of my Virtual Desktop videos, they go fucking ballistic, because people they want to play their PC VR wirelessly on the Quest 2, and exactly they should, because the Quest 2 is a great PC VR headset, and if you can play wirelessly, it's even better.
Yep. Love it. Love Virtual Desktop. It's great. Airlink can suck it, especially with the problems with Windows 11. But as I say, there is a fix in the pipeline. There is currently, just so that we're clear, if you are set on using Airlink and for some reason cannot use Virtual Desktop, there is a workaround currently in existence, but it relies on making sure that the Oculus app or something
debug
is always in the foreground.
It's the Oculus debug tool.
Yeah, and if for any reason that becomes not in the foreground, it will go back to it, and you need to restart everything, make sure that's in the foreground. And so there is a workaround, but it's a pain in the ass, and it's not what we want, especially when you can pay 20 Great British pounds in order to use Virtual Desktop and not have any of these issues, and just click open the app, and then click the game that you want to play, and it just works.
Yeah. So I was actually going to make a video about the workaround, and then kind of lost interest, because just go and buy Virtual Desktop. I've put thousands of hours through that app. Thousands. It's so good.
Here's the thing. Mac went to go and make a video about the workaround, and then realised that he already had several videos that were exactly the workaround, which is buy Virtual Desktop.
Oh, maybe I should make insane new workaround for Airlink problem. Clickbait, and then just me going, buy Virtual Desktop.
Here's the thing.
It's genius.
Even the Virtual Desktop stuff with the Oculus games, because it separates out your Oculus library and then your Steam library.
Yeah.
The Oculus stuff still works, because I've tried it.
Yeah. And if you have Revive on virtual desktop through Steam VR, Revive works better than Oculus.
Yep.
It's crazy. Oh, my.
So Fun the Clicks is back. He said
Hey, Fun.
he missed the last 10 minutes regarding the 12-hour stream, and he said he's glad to help out in any way he can. I appreciate that, my man. I'm sure Mac does as well. We need to do a few more bits together as creators. We need to get Mr. Fuzilo involved and Weebs and all of you guys.
All of you guys.
We want to see all of you.
All of you. So
come and do this. We'll find a load of games, both PC VR and Quest, that we can all jump into, that we can all have some fun. Might even arrange a rave in Neos.
Oh, we need to do the film night. Part of it needs to be watching a film in Neos, just for 2 hours, because we can have that like at the relaxing
an
bit.
Issue with streaming that.
Oh, yeah, actually,
Because of copyright violations on that one. I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, we could just go to the disco and have a rave then. Get the lasers on. Just
Definitely needs to be some mini golf.
Oh, walkabout, pop one.
Yep.
Onwards.
Oh yeah. We'll definitely arrange a pop one private server.
Yeah. So we need to get everybody involved in that. Yeah. So it's all up in the air. So if we don't hear from us, it's because we're planning it, because we don't want to exclude anybody, and we need to make it about raising money for charity and not about
just getting drunk.
Just getting drunk for 12 hours. Hey, should we just call it a drunkathon? Just like a webcam on me, just sitting there going,
Need to get you an IV of Mac juice.
I'm actually thinking I'm going to sell. I'm going to put on my Teespring. I'm going to get a Mac Juice sort of sippy cup or something. A branded Mac Juice sippy cup. Who'd buy that?
Lovely. Okay, so let's do a little bit more hardware then.
Okay.
So the next bit of hardware I think we have to talk about is about the Catwalk C2.
Absolutely. Right, let's just get my video up. It's here somewhere. There it is.
So when you're playing, and I'll play mine at the same time.
Right, just go for it.
Yep, okay, right. So Catwalk C2 then. This thing went live on Kickstarter, and within 5 minutes, it broke its goal.
5 minutes, mind.
This thing is not cheap.
It isn't. So there's no early bird left. There's only the C2, the C2 at $989, and the C2 Plus, which gives you a haptic base and the ability to sit, at $1,198. There was a really early bird for like the first 100 people that was $698, but that just went straight away. The next tier went, like I said, within 5 minutes. So you can still get involved, but your lowest tier is $989.
I think it's probably worth, like, having a look at them. I would say it's probably worth spending out the extra money to be able to sit.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not, the haptic base I'm not bothered about. That seems really weird to me. But the ability to sit, and
Have you got the video up that's 2 minutes 47 seconds? Is that the video you've got up?
Ah, shit, no. I've got the other one. Hold on a second.
No, that's fine.
I've got the 58-second one.
Okay.
No. I've got the actual Cat VR, the Catwalk C2 official trailer up, which is 58 seconds long.
Yeah, see, I've got the new definition of VR treadmill live on Kickstarter version, which is still from the same company. Right. Still on the Cat VR official page.
Okay.
But the reason why I got this is not only because it's longer, but it shows you quite a lot of in-depth images of the actual Catwalk VR. And one thing I wanted to point out, because when I say I think it's worth the extra money for somewhere to sit, because when you're going to be running around, I don't think most of you are going to be athletes. Most of you are probably going to be like me and less like Mac. But I think even this is going to exhaust Mac if he was using one of these, because it uses a different set of muscle groups.
It does, yeah.
Than you're used to using in anything else. So the ability to sit rather than detach yourself from it, I think is worthwhile. But looking at this, where the seat attaches to the frame, they don't look like metal clamps to me.
Okay.
They look plastic.
Yeah. When I saw...
I'm a heavy guy.
Yeah. When I saw the sitting thing, I was a bit confused because the whole idea of the C2 was the fact that you could... The problem that people found with the original Catwalk was in Onward, if you dropped your magazine on the floor, and you'll fucking know this from the stream that we did, you can't pick the magazine up by bending at the waist. You have to get down on your knees and you have to fanny about to try and pick the fucking magazine up. And people who got the Catwalk were like, oh, this is amazing. Look at this, I'm running an Onward. Oh, look at this, I'm running an Onward. Oh, I've dropped a magazine. Oh, shit. So if you buy the haptic base and you buy the seat, when you play Onward, you have to take it off because you can't kneel down. I don't know.
No, it looks like the seat actually just folds up.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay, that'll be fine. Yeah, but you're worried about the fact that it's what we call in the Northeast femmer. It's breakable.
Yeah. So I'm worried about if they are plastic clips, whether or not they're going to be strong enough, and I'm worried about the more heavy set gamers that want to get this for immersion, but also to make them move more. And in order to lose that weight initially. So I don't know. I wonder if there is a weight limit to this.
Oh, do you know that? Yeah, that's a good point. So when I was in the fire brigade, I was part of the water rescue team, and one of the big things was what they call the safe working load. Yep. So
yes, so it's all about your strops.
So So if you've got a carabiner that can take 200 kilos and you've got a rope that can take 400 kilos, what's the weak part of your system? It's the carabiner that takes 200 kilos. So yeah, they're going to have a weight limit. Are all these?
I'm now looking at all of their stuff on Kickstarter.
Heavy separated. Weeble's just said to me.
Weight limit on it.
Weeble has just said to me, "What was that pimple on your arm?"
Get wrecked.
I'm rapidly going off that man. I'm not. He's lovely.
I mean, all of this stuff looks wonderful, and they really do make the Kickstarter page look exciting. I am wondering about the shoes as well.
Apparently they've improved them. I watched the video where Thrillseeker ran across Skyrim, and he must run marathons because it took him 6 to 8 hours or something, and he actually destroyed the shoes. And if you think about it,
that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, 6 to 8 hours. That's a week of playing Onward, and then what? Your shoes are fucked. And he didn't just wear them out. He fucked them. They were fucked. So they said they've improved them. I mean, yeah. Do you know what? Secretly,
there is a video of this guy kneeling down, by the way.
Secretly,
in this thing while still being attached.
Yeah, I've seen that. They've made it so that you can pivot. But what I was concerned about with the seat, but if you think they can fold it down, that's fine. Secretly,
there is no way this video is real. There is no way this video is real. So I'm scrolling down the Kickstarter page, right?
Okay.
And they're showing a video of going prone.
Right. Okay.
How would you think, without seeing this, you would go prone attached to this thing?
Well, you can't because there's something on your back.
Exactly. So this is literally he's being held up in the air. He's got his legs. If you imagine, right, the tripod's here.
Yeah.
The A-frame's here, His legs are all the way back here on his tippy toes, and he's being held up. So it looks like he's flying, essentially.
Okay. So I'm going to play for 1 minute. I'm going to play the Catwalk C official trailer, which is 58 seconds long. So,
okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, you go nuts, man. I'm still trying to look through this. So if you're in my stream, guys, we're going to carry on looking to see if we can find a weight limit on this thing.
And we are going to actually see the official 58-second trailer, which is actually quite cool. And I will come back to that in a minute.
Come on, there has to be something. There has to be something in here that tells me, like, this is such a long, like, this must have taken them weeks just to put together this amount of information and videos. Just tech specs. Here we go. So the actual weight of the machine is 57 kilos. That's quite heavy, but it does mean it's less likely to tip over for any reason, which is good. 1.2 meters across and 1.58 meters tall. Recommended user height is interesting, between 5'3" and 6'5". Oh, here we go. Weight limit 130 kilos. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So I heard you said 130 kilos.
Yeah, no, the supported weight limit on this is 130 kilos or 286 pounds.
Okay.
That means I can use this.
I once removed a young lady from her bedroom who weighed 360 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah. She was
that's 1.5 of me.
Yeah. She was dead as fuck. You know.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but that's a very interesting way of putting it.
Well, you know, it's yeah. People are getting bigger. 130 kilos is fuck all. I weigh 80 kilos, I think. And I don't consider
what I weigh in kilos.
I don't consider myself to be a big person. I'm 5'8" and I weigh around 12 in metric in imperial 12.7, about 80 78 80 kilos, something like that. Anyway,
okay, so the production timeline on this thing then.
Sorry, I just said Weebles just said me and you would never get back up, Mac. I think he meant if we bent over and got down prone.
So they're looking to they're looking to deliver this product at the end of July 2022.
Okay, so it must be quite far in development then.
So a 1 year turnaround from completing the prototype or
2023.
2022.
July.
Oh, this can't be right.
No, that can't be right. They've just launched the Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, no, that's. Oh, sorry, I'm not reading this right at all. Okay, so in June 2021, they had the prototype built.
That was the Catwalk C.
That was the T1 apparently.
Oh, okay, right. Oh, that must be separate from the Catwalk then, is it?
Yes. And then their crowdfunding was in May. June pre-production testing, July start of production, end of July. So yeah, people have only got to wait another 8 weeks.
Well, I'm sorry. Right. From an engineering background, you cannot make a consumer product in that short a time. I mean, I know they've got experience.
1 year and 1 month. Total.
Maybe.
I am worried. What do they mean by pre-production testing?
Yeah. Right. So I don't want to get in. I don't want to criticize Catwalk for what they did. I'm I'm hugely interested. I would absolutely love to have one. I'm concerned about the original Catwalk C weighed something like 150 kilos. It weighed a lot. Really did, yeah.
This one's nowhere near as heavy.
This one's 57 kilos. Okay,
yes.
So there's a lot of so if you do physics, you have your fulcrum, and you can pivot on your fulcrum.
Yeah.
If you've got somebody who weighs 130 kilos who's doing that on a limited base, you're going to get a lot of fat people tipping themselves over.
Here's the question then. Here's the question. You'll probably know the answer to this more than I will. Where is the center of gravity for an average human person? Where does it roughly sit on the body?
It's basically straight down the middle. Straight down through your testicles and but in between your legs.
It's the main part of that is going to be between your neck and your stomach, right?
Yeah. No, you've got to remember your head's quite heavy, so it's going to be up in the sort of top third.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay. So,
well, if you think
because it's 1.2, the actual base is 1.2 meters, and that's where the majority of the weight is going to be of the product.
So that's what 5 foot. 5 foot.
1.2 is 4 foot.
Okay. Yeah, we're probably fixating on something which they've already thought about.
Oh, they must have. They must have.
Yeah. I mean, I'm being critical, but I'm hugely excited. I would love to be involved in the Kickstarter. I know
it's too much for my blood.
It is. I know that Steve Knows got in really early, so Steve Knows is getting one delivered on his birthday, which apparently is the date that it gets released. So obviously they're going to make sure that he gets one on the day that it's his birthday. So I'm really interested. Excuse me. I'm really interested to see.
Interestingly, Weeble has just put, normally the center of gravity for a human is about an inch below the navel in the center of the body.
All right, okay.
Which, if that is the case,
nobody
is going to be 4 foot tall.
No, nobody's
to their navel.
No, nobody's going to tip over. No, good point. Yeah.
In which case, that should be fine. I can't see, if I was to buy it, I am within the product limits of everything that it is saying. I don't think I could go prone the way they're telling me to go prone with this product without damaging it.
No.
I don't think that's a possibility.
But
this is exciting. You are right.
It is exciting. I mean, to be fair, I play Onward a lot, and there are points where I cower behind cover when I'm getting shot at, but I've never ever gone prone, even though I play wirelessly. I've never gone prone. Like Weeble said, it takes me too long to fucking stand back up again. And there's all this sort of... I have to try and move the various parts of my arthritic body to get back in the air. So, yeah, it's the running thing. Imagine playing Population 1 for 2 or 3 hours, or after the fall on a catwalk treadmill. Jeez, you're not...
I think after the fall would be all right, because I don't think you're moving as much... It's quite slow moving, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So, but when it comes to Population 1, I think that's a very different thing. Onward is a very different thing.
Onward is very...
Because you never stop on Onward.
Onward would be interesting. Onward would be really interesting.
I think one of the interesting things with this, actually, is the extra shoes that you can purchase. But they are $89. So... is that a good price for them? I don't know. I don't know.
Are they not included, or is that extra shoes?
These are extra shoes.
I've never paid $130 for a pair of shoes.
No, $89.
I've never paid $89 for a pair of shoes.
I have.
Oh, actually, no, I'm lying. I paid more than that for my walking boots, but I do a lot of walking, so yeah.
Yeah, so on the whole, I almost rarely spend that much on shoes, but I do tend to spend an extravagant amount of money on VR. So, what have we got here?
Weebles just
Okay,
said
these are just stretch goals.
onward these Half-Life Alex physics to pick up ammo, etc. Yeah, onward. The game's been out for like 6
years.
6 years, and they still haven't got the ammo crates right. I love Onward, but if you need to reload, or you're playing at 128 enemies and you need to pick up ammo, it's a fucking pain in the ass. And what I hate as well is when you lean towards the ammo crate and it pushes you back.
Yep.
Just have the ammo crate, have a button on it, press it, it pops up, you have a flashbang, a grenade, a smoke grenade, a magazine, and a magazine for your pistol. Because that's all you want, isn't it? Ooh, magazine. Press the button. Magazine. Press the button. Magazine. Nobody ever, or syringes. Nobody ever picks up grenades or smokes or pistol mags from... anyway, that's a totally different subject. I do apologise.
Yeah, that is a completely different subject. So
right.
Anyway, yeah, that is the Catwalk C2. I'm excited about it. I'm probably never going to get to try one, and that saddens me. But otherwise, pretty cool product.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, all the things you talked about, I'm not against it. I think it's amazing. And eventually, it might be, that might be a solution for people who need to play in a very, very limited space, because it basically locks you into a 1.5 meter sort of little area. It's Ready Player One is actually coming. And if you could put Vive trackers on your feet and your hips and do like full body tracking and then do mixed reality content or with avatars or something like that, it's cool as fuck. But I
don't think I'd want to do mixed reality content with this product. I don't. As you say, with like VR chat and things, I think that would be really cool. Or Neos
with avatars, yeah,
would be really cool. But as far as mixed reality, where you're taking video of yourself and putting it into the game, I don't think I want this in there.
It might not work.
But who am I to know? Like someone might, like Anna Byrne, might have something cool to do with this, and I'd be excited to watch. It's one of those products where I'd love to try it. I don't think I would want to own one.
That is part of the problem. I think it's so cool. I think it's really cool. But if you gave me the choice between a B Haptics vest and that, I'd take the B Haptics vest. Thank you very much. I think the B Haptics vest is more relevant to
an OWO vest. Or an OWO.
Oh, they look so good.
Oh, whoa, here she comes. Anyway.
Yeah. I think we have one more subject to talk about, don't we?
We do. No, I mean, we kind of have two. So let's do LON next quickly.
Okay. Just
because I am super excited about this. So we're going to watch a trailer, and then discuss it quickly, because we're at almost the 2.5 hour mark at this point.
We are. Is your trailer 2 minutes long?
Is it how many? It's 1 minute and 52 seconds.
Yeah, that's fine. That's the same trailer. Yeah.
Okay, so let's have some sound on this, shall we? And we'll quickly watch this, because I love the look of this.
I do as well.
And then we'll quickly discuss it afterwards, and then we'll have a quick talk and a little look at Half-Life 2.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go!
Humanity is under great threat. Every neuron, synapse, and receptor in the human mind is being modified to create a world controlled by cyborgs.
it's officially the best game of all time. You can pet a dog. Like what? Go away. Yeah. What more do you want? Really? It ticks all of the boxes for me. This trailer. The problem is, that's a lot of boxes to tick.
Yeah. There was a whole load of like Half-Life Alyx stuff going on. And to be honest, if I was taking over the world and I had this cyborg army, I'd be a bit disappointed if people could defeat me by throwing boxes.
Yeah, that's fair. But let's just go over a little bit of checklisting here, okay? You've got guns. Mm-hmm. There are guns. Although they look to be simplified guns, which is fine with me.
Yeah.
We've got melee combat.
Swords. We've got grabbing.
We've got
decapitation.
We've got grabbing. Yes. We have environmental damage using environment as weapons. Yeah. Which is pretty cool. Yeah. We've got a multitude of different types of enemies, all with a very cyberpunky theme.
The shield. I like the shield.
Yeah, the shield works really, really well from what I can see. I like the sort of one-handed shotguns. They look pretty cool. There seems to be some elements of puzzles. Yeah. Once again, sort of Half-Life Alyx or just Half-Life puzzles in general. Yeah. I like the fact that the weapons, the guns even seem to be able to do melee damage. That's pretty cool. Yeah. The melee combat seems to be a mixture of Boneworks and Blade and Sorcery-esque, leaning more towards the Blade and Sorcery side, which is pretty cool again. And it looks to be like there's a proper story and it's going to be more linear, which I'm also not fussed that it is linear, because I want story stuff. Yeah,
I do as well. I agree. More like maybe Deus Ex, you know, like that sort of gameplay.
Oh, Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. You know, we can upgrade. You can have the nanos where you can be stealthy, or you can be a tank, or you can specialize on, you know, like weapons or melee, or that'll be quite cool.
Stuff like that. Yeah. On the whole, I think this has huge potential. However,
Weeble just said one thing. Sorry, I just need to stop you there.
Yeah.
If there's a co-op mode, that would be incredible. There's no.
I don't think this game will have a co-op mode.
No, I don't either. Aspire 2 does have a co-op mode, so
yes, just
leave that there. Right, sorry, carry on.
No. We haven't heard anything about this game in 2 years.
Yeah, and it just reappeared, didn't it?
Yeah. I'm worried that they're going to have the cyberpunk effect.
Okay. Oh, right,
that's my biggest worry.
Yeah. They've seen cyberpunk.
They released this trailer and everyone's all like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And then we get cyberpunk.
Which, strangely enough, who said that in my chat? I actually saw it. HB Program. HB, the dude. He said a VR port of Cyberpunk.
There already is kind of a VR port of Cyberpunk.
It's Cyberpunk.
In that we do have a VR mod. From, I keep thinking Bob Ross, but it's not Bob Ross.
That was just a happy accident.
Yeah. What was his name? It's something Ross.
Ross Luke.
Ross something.
Ross Luke.
Yeah.
Luke Ross. Luke Ross. Sorry,
Ross,
yeah.
Luke Ross.
Hell.
Luke is not a last name.
Bob Ross.
Last name. Luke is not a last name. But yeah.
He's tired. I'm drunk.
What do you think? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this trailer for as just purely not how the trailer's put together, because it's the same as any other trailer you could ever find for any game really. But okay, let's call it excitement level then.
Okay, so they're trying to do Half-Life Alyx stuff in a cyberpunk universe. Looks a bit janky. Excitement level. 5
out of 10.
Yeah. I'd have to see more.
Okay.
I'd have to see more.
Mine is a cautious 7.
Oh, that's optimistic for somebody who
I
is involved in the VR industry and should be cynical.
Yes, but here's the thing, and shoot me if you want, ignore me for the rest of time, that's fine. Even with the problems that Cyberpunk 2077 had, I still enjoyed myself, and I played it on release.
Oh, right, okay. I never did. I don't do flat screen gaming because I'm a VR guy, and you are dead to me.
Yeah, but
stream's over. Bye.
You've got to bear in mind, this was pre-creating my channel.
Oh, okay. I'll let you off then.
Because the
You're
release
forgiven.
date was January last year.
You're forgiven.
And I created my channel in February. So I still had time to play flat screen games.
Oh my God! Imagine that!
I know.
Wow.
I don't have time to play VR
Time
games.
to play games. Fuck. Crazy.
So yeah, no, mine's a tentative 7.
Okay. Yeah, I can see your optimism. I can see why you're optimistic.
Yeah. Like if they just come true on everything they put in this trailer, then it's a 9.
Oh,
If they don't,
sorry, HB's just nailed me. He said, "Just did you not play Halo?" Yes, I played a lot of Halo. I'm a Halo guy. Sorry, carry on. So you think it's a 9 if it delivers?
I think if it delivers on everything that's there, I think that's a solid 9.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
think if they welch on some of the stuff, or like some of the stuff they're showing us is like one-offs in the game,
Yeah.
then I think it will be a low 4.
Yeah, it's difficult. Why is it suddenly reappeared though? Is it because of Cyberpunk, do you think?
No, I think at some point you have to start creating hype for your game. And it might just be in a place where they can actually start producing marketable hype for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose.
Because none of this looks like pre-rendered stuff.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, no, sorry. There is a couple of bits that do.
Yeah, like the walk through the marketplace. So where they get their money from then?
I don't know. 2 years is a long development period. I mean, it's not for a game, but for a VR game it is.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to have to wait here. Doomsly 82 has the Haptics X40 and just got the arms. And he says, I love it. Doomsly, I hate you. I don't actually hate you. I'm just jealous. Sorry.
Yeah, super jealous, my man.
Super
Very
jealous,
much
my
so.
man. Oh, we should play onward so I can shoot you in the arms.
You can shoot him in the arms. I'll shoot him in the chest.
Because basically that's what happened to Weeble. He kept stepping in front of me and I was accidentally shooting him in the arms.
You put him in the back of the head one game.
Well, I was like, Weeble, there's a guy there, but, and he went, oh, why, where? And stepped into my line of fire. And I was like, oh, bugger. Come to Denmark and try it. Now, it would cost me £400 to get to Denmark. I'd just go and buy a Haptics. But thank you very much for the offer, Doomsly.
Right then, we've looked at LON, the last topic, and we won't go too much into it, unless Mac wants to, because Mac has, I think, tried Half-Life mod.
I haven't.
Oh, okay, so I haven't either. So let's just talk about, what we can do then, is we can talk about what we're expecting from it, our excitement level of it, or anything around it. And then next time we do the podcast, both of us will have tried it.
Yeah.
And we can go into it in more detail.
Right. First of all, I'd like to thank Cludestad Gamer because he contacted me and said, I'm in contact with the devs. Would you like access? And I nearly melted.
In which case, I owe Cludestad Gamer a thank you as well.
You do.
Thank you very much, dude. I appreciate that you got Mac in contact with him because Mac gave me a key.
Yeah, and I've downloaded it. So thank you. I'm eternally grateful. I am eternally grateful. And so is PowerOn and so is Surjical because he got a key as well. So I've downloaded it. I downloaded it the weekend. Typical, haven't had a chance to try it yet. I remember deliberately upgrading my PC so that I could play Half-Life 2 back in the day. And I remember starting the game up and sitting there like this.
Yep.
Absolutely incredible. Physics-based puzzles, combine that reacted to what you did, antlions, dog. Ugh.
Oh, do you remember when they released the Lighthouse demo for the new lighting stuff for the Source engine? Oh God, I was blown away. That did things to me that I don't think any woman will ever be able to. It's
I would like to distance myself from that comment. So I'm curious to know how Half-Life 2 stands up today, because I remember it as it has a great affection in my life as being like one of the best games I've ever played. Like in my top 10, definitely, probably my top 5 like flat screen games. I'm not like talking VR because obviously we're a VR channel.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. It's in my top 10 games, taking into account time periods.
Which is a great way of putting it. That's a great way of putting it, yeah.
Because it's in the same way that like Banjo-Kazooie for the N64 is in my top 10 games, based on time periods.
Super Metroid.
Yeah, exactly. Like that sort of thing. Like Bomberman on the Game Boy is in my top 10 games.
I have a SNES with the extender that allows the 4 controllers and a copy of Bomberman. And my friends, whenever they come round, in fact, I didn't actually get it out this time that you came round. My friends are like, they hear the music, they're like, oh, fuck, are we playing Bomberman? I'm like, yes, you're fucking playing Bomberman.
Okay, so what are you looking forward to in the Half-Life 2 VR mod that makes you excited to play this?
I want to go back to that game and I want to find out that it's as good as I remember, but in VR. Because apparently the VR controls are implemented almost flawlessly, which I'm amazed by these guys who do this. I'm just amazed by it.
I am as well. It is phenomenal. I am very much looking forward to it. If you could pick one single moment in Half-Life 2 that makes you truly excited about trying it in VR, which bit is it?
I think it's going to be the fight with the Strider to see how that works, and the interaction with Dog, because obviously in Half-Life Alyx you see Dog in a picture when he's just like a babe, like they've just started to develop him, because obviously Half-Life Alyx is set 5 years before Half-Life 2. So you see, if you go into the apartment, you pull the picture out, you see the iterations of Dog, and he's only like a little tiny dude. So like 5 years down the line, you get like proper Dog. So yeah, I'm curious to see how the interaction with him goes. Just fighting Combine, and yeah, I'm just so excited.
I am excited for one particular moment more than any other.
Okay.
And that is, and I'll explain my reasoning in a second. And that is the point at the very beginning of the game where the Combine makes you pick up the can and puts it in the bin.
Oh yeah! Wow.
And the reason being is that when Half-Life 2 was originally released,
bearing in mind he's wearing a Half-Life t-shirt as well.
when Half-Life 2 was originally released, although it was a Valve game and it was designed to be a game, because of how Valve work, it was essentially part game, part tech demo.
Yeah. Open source, like they do always.
Yeah. And the initial part of the game was presented in such a way as to make you realize the physics of it.
Yeah.
And we take that for granted now.
Yeah.
We take that for granted heavily now. But back in the day, there were certain points with the physics engine that really made your jaw drop to the ground, your hairs on your arm stand up on end. And that was one of the moments for me, was when the Combine says, "Oi, you, pick that up." and you're just like, no, and he jabs you with the baton.
Yeah.
Here we go. On mine, he's literally just flicked it out, and you've got to pick it up. Here you go. And he's going to make you put it in the bin. And then he lets you go past. That is the moment for me that I am most excited about.
I can't remember exactly because honestly it was 20 years ago. But there was a point where you had to drop a barrel onto a plank to do the sort of seesaw thing. And I sat there for ages thinking, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? I don't understand. And then I went, badoink, badoink. And I just was like, oh my God, they've put real physics in this game. And from then on, the game changed because there was things that you could do. You could like flick explosive barrels at Combine. You could like, if a head crab jumped at you, could like, you had a box in your hand, you could just chuck it and it would knock the crab away. And, yeah, it was the physics for me. Crazy.
So, I don't know if you remember the playground in Half-Life 2.
No, they recreated it in Half-Life Alyx, but
In
it wasn't
Half-Life
quite. Yeah,
Alyx.
they did. Yeah.
When I first played Half-Life Alyx and I saw that playground, I'm not lying, I genuinely cried.
Yeah.
Like I had
crazy.
actual tears in my eyes because the pure nostalgia of 20 years ago slapping me in my eyes, and filling me full of warmth just made me so happy.
But they did that in Boneworks as well. Remember the playground in Boneworks?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
I less gave a shit about that.
Yeah, I didn't like Boneworks. I'm sorry, I'm just not a big. I'm not a big Boneworks fan.
Mac is not a fan of the bones.
I'm going to see how Bone Labs goes. I'm going to see how it goes. I'm going to keep an open mind.
As we always should.
As we always should. No, we are open and honest on our channels, so
But I'm not going to lie, I'm much more interested, I'm much more excited for Half-Life 2 VR mod than I am for Bone Lab.
Paradise Decay's just jumped in.
Hey, PD, how's it going, my guy?
He says Weeble, so basically Weeble made a comment about Lara Croft, and it says here, Lara Croft games have stereoscopic modes that can be played in 3D with your headset on in a giant cinema. A giant cinema. Oh my God, I can't imagine that.
Imagine looking down, imagine playing a VR mod for Tomb Raider 2 and looking down at two massive blue triangles.
But like looking at Madonna in her thingy phase, isn't it?
Yeah.
Vogue.
I would love in VR, even if they didn't make the entire game, just to be able to put the butler in the fridge in VR.
Yeah.
Like that would be a testament to the gaming experience, I feel.
Right, so I think we're going to wrap. It's been
We are indeed going to wrap.
It's going to be a wrap. We've been going on, my God, for nearly 3 hours.
Oh yeah, my throat is absolutely ripped to shreds.
It took us half an hour just to get through the we've been playing, what games we've been playing.
It's because I've actually been playing games with people, which has been nice.
Yeah, I know. It has. It is nice. So I'm looking really forward to playing World of Mechs. Looking forward to playing the Half-Life 2 mod. There's so much stuff going on. I'm so excited for VR. VR is great. I love VR.
VR is great. We've got stuff to look forward to. We've got stuff coming out now. PD said in a tweet the other day, actually, I'm pretty sure it was PD. If I'm wrong, I apologize. I'm pretty sure it was you who said that if anyone tells you that we're in a dry spell for VR, they're wrong because I don't have enough time to play everything that's coming out.
Exactly. Left 4 Dead VR 2 mod has motion controls. No!
Have you not seen any of the Left 4 Dead stuff?
No! I didn't even know that!
I haven't played it, but
that's Paradise Decay again.
I have seen people playing it recently. I think I saw Gamertag and maybe Beardo.
No.
I don't think it has multiplayer yet. I think it only has single player at the moment.
No, the whole thing about Left 4 Dead is that you play it with your friends.
The problem is that going into multiplayer mode with it will trigger Valve's anti-cheat system.
Yes, yeah, I can imagine. Right, so just go and play after the fall. Right, I'm going to wrap. Because
me too.
We've been on for 3 hours. And as always, it's fucking flown past.
We just get lost,
Flown
don't we?
past.
As we were saying, we got lost that night that we were chatting around yours until stupid o'clock in the morning. And honestly, if we weren't keeping an eye on the time, we would do exactly the same.
We would
on
just
the
carry
podcast,
on.
no doubt.
We would. So the VR marathon is a thing. We're going to try and pull it together with Clickster. There's some momentum. We are going to do it. Just bear with us. We're terrible at organising. It'll probably be in the summer sometime.
We will get it sorted. We will get it sorted. I will actively actually take some days off to get it sorted.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'll need to after 12 hours anyway. So
I think so.
Yeah. I can recover the next day.
Right. So I'm going to say goodbye. He has been Shooey from PowerOnVR.
And he has been Mac In VR, the wig salesman himself.
Yes. Bold. Bold is gold. Right. Cheers, people. We will see you in 2 weeks' time.
Stay awesome,
Enjoy.
people.
Stay awesome.